So I'm guilty. Who the hell died and left you, Judge? You're the one who allows my type to parade in, as if in confession, in search of absolution for crimes committed. All the crimes committed. By me, to me, for me, against me. The crimes against nature. That same vicious cycle, repeating the same sins over and over again, the same mistakes over and over again. That same cycle of abuse, with only a slight variation on the theme. And you want to know what the theme is? You want to know what the theme is? I'll tell you what the theme is. You, the victim. You, the victimizer, in search of the ultimate pain, the ultimate pleasure, the ultimate release. So it kills you. So what? Welcome to my salon, the theater of blood and guts. What you're about to hear is, of course, all true. So just try to get comfortable, pretend I'm right there in your living room, and be glad, be very glad that this story is not about you. He came from Cleveland, where the high rate of alcohol poisoning, drug abuse, and teenage suicide made him a lifetime member of the F ward at Bellevue. His parents sent him to New York City to commit him to an institution that could deal with the type of entertainment that he liked to indulge himself in. Like throwing his baby brother out the window of the 21st story of the newly, freshly painted suburban high-rent condominium that Mom and Pop just got through paying off. An addict by 14, he had already been diagnosed as dangerous and a threat to society since becoming an active member in several schools practicing sadomasochistic rituals, which he would practice on himself and various others, unfortunately, within firing range. I met him on the Bowery one night in '77 when I tried stamping out a bum he had just set on fire. Knowing that it wouldn't be long before the bum and he traded places, I tried arguing in favor of salvaging the human wreck smoldering on the sidewalk. Hearing nothing of this, he begins screaming at me in a piercing falsetto. "I am the beast! 666! Puta! Puta Diablo!" while attempting to torch my beautiful raven locks with a Bic lighter wielded as one would a blowtorch. Wrestling the beast to the ground with a series of damaging elbow smashes, he began giggling hysterically, drooling and coughing, spewing liquored spatulettes all over my face and neck. Disgusted with his rancid behavior, soured by his breath, I retaliated by chewing up a big wad of Oreo cookies mingled with Jack Daniels, which I splattered across the front of his white sleeveless t-shirt. Diving at me, he smashes us both into the side of an oncoming '67 Cadillac, which comes to a screeching halt. Out piles a drunken American Indian with a speech impediment, laughing at what he mistakes for a lover's quarrel. He invites me and my newfound wrestling tag team partner to get in. What we need is a little cruise. Hey, yeah. How about taking a ride with me up to Central Park? I gotta see a man about some horse. And not being able ever myself to pass up forward motion, movement, speed, or sleaze, I barrel right into the back seat, dragging the drunken dwarf with me as some kind of prophylactic against my own disease. We're riding across town, tailgating taxicabs, spitting shit out the windows, looking for somebody more fucked up than we are to pick on, to pulverize, to pervert. We pull over to piss up against the piers along the West Side Highway, lighting up a joint, kicking back some jack, and slowly we're surrounded by a gang of beautiful, queenie Puerto Rican rent boys rallying around to check out the freaks. Yo, the freaks come out at night, baby. Yeah, what with a 42-year-old American Indian with hair down to here, low-slung hip huggers, no shirt or shoes, doing a rain dance on the gravel. A squad escapee from Bellevue, Hitler, haircut, holes in shoes, passed out and pissing on the hood of the caddy, dick still dribbling the spent alcohol, and me. And three of the older, harder queers come sauntering over, looking me up and down, making baby faces at me, whistling, ooh, ooh, Miss Rough Trade, you pimpin', baby, you pullin'. And then they all started laughing, one or two of them bending over, lifting up their short spandex skirts and showing me those juicy, well-shaved assholes, which they're puckering in and out, shouting out a menu of prices and talents and specialities of the house, and what $5 can buy. And what you can do for $5, and how with $5 you can help them to try and buy their way out, bust their way out, past the scum-encrusted fuckhole of ugly urban landscape, where the easy way out is usually the quickest way out. Is usually a one-way ticket to Rikers or Sing Sing, or sailing out on the rusty end of a dull knife blade or a bullet hole or a needle tip, far, far away and flying somewhere above it all, above all the bullshit and dribble and doublespeak of do-nothing lifelines, that are often inherent, apparently genetic, runs in the family, right? That certain kind of sickness, that disease, the insanity, the profanity, the vanity, the malnutrition, the addiction, the co-addiction, the insecurity, the inability to deal with reality, what the fuck ever reality's supposed to mean in a welfare line or on SSI or at 2 o'clock in the morning sucking off some scurvy John from New Jersey, or as just one of the 7 sons of the 7th son, with poverty and pollution no longer being metaphors for the state, but for the state of being. 2 chronic constants to remind you always of where you come from, of where you're going to, and where you're not going to ever get. And no matter what you do, no matter what you try to do, no matter what gets done or what don't get done, it ain't going to save your sweet ass from falling into the bottomless pit, faceless, graceless, and without a trace. And the only way out is in, deep, deep inside you. You poke holes in your skin, thinking that if you just had one solid base where you can concentrate that ache, concentrate that pain, so that it wasn't an all-consuming surrounding that suffocates you from the first breath of the day to your last dying day. Day in, day out, pulling, pushing, pining, tearing, shredding, sharding, shielding your eyes from the tears of blood. Because tears of blood aren't enough anymore. Everybody bleeds a little in this emotional ghetto where we were all born rotten in body and soul, where we are congenitally unadapted. Here by suppressing drugs and sex, you're not going to suppress the need for crime, the cancers of the body and of the soul, the propensity for despair or inborn stupidity. You won't be able to stop souls from being predestined for poison, whatever kind that may be. There are souls that are incurable and lost to the rest of society. If you take away from them one means of madness, they'll invent 10,000 more. They will create means more subtle, more furious, absolutely desperate. Nature herself is antisocial. Let the lost get lost. And little Hitler wakes up, thrown up all over one of the queen's knees, who goes into hysterics, demanding her $5 for being the human vomit launch, threatening to shit on his forehead if he didn't pay up, reaching into the beast's pocket, trying to wrangle out a 5-spot, who cracks the last of the bottle of Jack against the fender, holds the busted end up to the chippy's pretty face, pulls her wig off, jumps into the caddy, screaming to the American Indian co-pilot to get in, let's get away with the goods, shaking the rotten wig, get in, take off, man, go faster, faster, faster. Break the speed limits, man, the time limits, the law. Run somebody over. Run those bitches over. Let's go back and kill them. Let me drive. Let me drive. Let me take the fucking wheel. I'll show you how it's done. Drive, motherfucker, drive. Get going. We're standing still. You gotta catch the fucking breeze. Hey, I was born to fucking fly. Yeah, 92 miles an hour up 9th Avenue with 3 teenage Puerto Rican bisexual prostitutes throwing bricks at the back window and the Indians hiccuping nervously when little Hitler, all pumped up now, starts flipping the finger to a carload of heavy-looking black dudes with a necklace of donkey teeth hanging off the rearview mirror, who know better than to fuck barehanded with some fucked-up lunatic whose lips are sealed around a fifth of whiskey, who's screaming racial epitaphs soon to be turned into a custom-made obituary. And the hot young black boys release the pressure in their tight black jeans by pulling out small, pearl-handled black and white handguns, and they start wagging them next to my temple. I'm shaking. They're saying that I better shut that faggot honky ass up. Shut him up good. What is he, nuts? You got some kind of death wish? What kind of cheesy bitch is that hanging out with this shit anyway? Didn't I want to earn a little bit more dime bag money? They need some fresh white titty in their stable. Oh, check it out. She's got some fine, fine titties. And I could barely hear him because we're up to 96 miles an hour. Amazing Grace blaring on the car radio. And my buddy beside me starts howling out, 666, I am the beast. Puta madre. And we're racing up to 110th Street faster than the greased rat's ass, blowing every red light wrong way up a one-way street for 32 blocks. No fucking cops when you need them. No fucking cops. And we're blasting on the friggin' horn. They could have heard us in Hoboken if they would have been listening for once. But the whole fucking city was just hammering away. And we're just a tiny close-up of life just about ready to abort itself. And the closer they get to my face, the wilder the asshole next to me's getting, cursing the mothers and godmothers of our future executioners, telling them to blow our fucking brains out. Go ahead, do it, you chicken shit, all dick, no balls, black boys. What the hell you waiting for, City Hall? Huh? And shit, for sure they start firing those tiny bullets, those little pearly pellets which rip into the blood-stained red interior, and the wild Indian is by now yee-hawing, yippity-dip-doo-dying like some kind of Wild West comedy fest, laughing so hard he can barely control the wheel. And 666, I am the beast, and I'm freaking out, trying to convince myself I'm too stubborn to die, I'm too young to die, I'm too pretty to die. And with a sharp right turn, we pull up right behind an empty police van and park as the sharpshooters sail off into the sunset, screaming out our license plates. The lost by nature, and all the ideas of moral regeneration, it's not going to do anything about it. There is an innate determinism. There is an indisputable incurability about suicide, crime, idiocy, madness. There's an invincible cuckoldom of man, a fallout of character. There is castration of the mind. Hell is already of this world, and there are men who are unhappy runaways, destined to repeat their escape eternally. Man is miserable. The soul is weak, and there are men who shall always get lost. The means for the lost, they don't matter. And as long as we have not been able to abolish a single case of human desperation, we do not have the right to try to suppress the means by which man tries to cleanse himself of desperation. And the last time I saw the beast, he was at St. Vincent's, where they were going to amputate his right arm for cellulitis, a cancer and rancor crank-related. But instead they decided to just gut it, leaving a gorgeous scar 4 inches wide and 30 centimeters deep running from his inner elbow to his armpit, doing gentle swirling twists all the way down to the wrist. I knew half a dozen guys that would have killed for that kind of memento, that kind of souvenir that says, fuck you. Fuck you. I'm a survivor. And if you want to get rid of me, you're going to have to chop me up in little fucking pieces. And I pictured him ahead on a skateboard buzzing down to the men's shelter where he started living after they let him out of St. Vincent's because there's only so many beds and they couldn't take him back at Bellevue because he no longer qualified as in serious condition, in need of intensive care, or could be called disabled, except for the fact that his motor functions didn't. The therapy left him pallid and weak, and he was constantly hallucinating with fevers and delirium caused by the treatments, the painkillers, the morphine, The Thorazine, the Xanax, the Ritalin, the Percodan, the Placidil, the ketamine, the antipsychotics, the antidepressants, whatever it is that it takes to placate you into a permanent stupor, a sedation, torpor. And even though they couldn't lock him up and throw away the keyhole, it wasn't 2 months later that he was back in detox for the 40th time, trying to fight the devil in the bottle, nirvana in a needle, and losing badly. Saying he just needed the juice. He just needed the juice, that's all. He just needed the juice to recharge his battery. And I mean, he's just a little bit overloaded. It's like his circuits, they were going haywire. It's chaos, havoc, felonies committed around the hourglass. It was like being devoured in quicksand. It was like sinking into whose ever solid liquid embrace. It was like looking for someone, anyone, to break that fall into the timeless wonderland where sight and sound are replaced with smell and taste and touch. Touch. The only touch is of a wet hand on the back of your neck. And the scars on his arm, they just weren't healing right. And more talk of amputation, since he couldn't afford the antibiotics after getting kicked out of first the Palace Hotel above CBGB's and then the men's shelter where they found out he had AIDS, so it was back on the Bowery, which was way worse than Bellevue because at least there you could steal chump change from the other inmates. But in no way was it as bad as Rikers, where when he got busted for selling dope on the corner, he had the misfortune of running into the same Puerto Rican fags he puked on at the piers who proceeded to gang rape him with a Coke bottle, requiring 24 stitches to close the bloody, crusty wound, but he was released immediately after that, and even managed to pick up a trick or two on the way back to the city. And I'm swallowing this all down, staring into his beautiful, degenerate baby blues, and I finally gather up the guts to ask him, what's taking so long? What are you waiting for? What are you holding back? What are you holding back for? How many more times do you want to go through this? How many more times do you want to put me through this? How much longer can you show off and show up for the next murderous dose? How many more daily disasters, huh? How much more devastation, degeneration can you put yourself through? What are you waiting for anyway? Easter? Christmas? Your birthday? Why don't you just fucking snuff it? Go for broke. I mean, why break it up in little pieces? I know you got it in you. It ain't like you ain't got the fucking gall or the balls. Or that you haven't been trying to fucking kill yourself for every single day since 10 years before I even met you. And he looks up at me, all watery and wounded, and says, it's because I'm scared, okay? I'm scared. I'm scared that when I pass on, that they're going to call me up on all the false starts, all the half-assed attempts, that they're going to make me stand in line with my pants down around my ankles and show the world that I was just another picture postcard depiction of a professional loser. Yeah, all the markings of a too-big gambler, petty thief, hustler, a cheater, a liar, a nobody. You know, it's nothing I got any control of. I mean, it doesn't control me. It's not that I'm crazy. It's just that something I can't seem to master. You know, it seems to want to master me. It seems to master mistakes and disillusion and dementia. You know, it's like an addiction. It's like an addiction to adrenaline that keeps forcing me to draw and cross that thin blue line dividing reality from insanity, safety from harm, life from death. And he's calling out to me, you know, maybe you just don't understand, okay? How can anybody understand? It's just a classic case. Wrong place, wrong time, right guy. And the next time I see him, he just might be smiling, yeah, smiling on a mountaintop, counting corpses of all the young and old alike that didn't know when the time is right, there'll be no time left for whining or crying or self-pity. There'll be no time left for any more big fights or fuck-ups or handouts. Yeah, there'll be no more corrosive sensation in the limbs. No more muscles as if being twisted, torn, No more brittle feeling. No more wincing and cringing at any movement or sound. No more unconscious incoherence of steps or gestures or movements. No more overwhelming central fatigue. Yeah, and I'm holding it together, okay? I'm holding it together by constant willpower. He was trying to create a void so that I could progress. Offering up some kind of expanse of an impossible space, someplace deep inside that would germinate like a generator, sucked into life, sucked into death. And that's when I laid into him. Kill yourself already. You're so fucking tortured. Just lose all hope. There's no more relief for you in this world. Hey, the world, it dances on your grave. Oh, you're so perpetually misunderstood. There's a point in you that no doctor will ever understand. And that's the point, which for me, it saves you. It makes you majestic. Pure, beautiful. You are outside of life. You're above life. You're half dead already. You have pains which the ordinary person does not know. You have irrepressible pains, the essence of which makes you unadaptable to any known state. Repeated, unceasing, insoluble pains, pains beyond thought. Neither in the body nor in the soul, but which belong to both. And as for me, I participate in your ills. I exploit your ills. And I ask you, who dares to measure the tranquilizer for me? In the name of what superior light, soul to soul, can you ever understand me or expect me to understand you? You, who are at the very root of knowledge and clarity. All of this on account of your insistence, our persistence in suffering. Yeah, we, who pain makes journey into our souls in search of a calm place to cling to. In search of stability in evil, the way that everybody else searches for it in good. And 2 weeks later, he was dead. And they held some stinking lousy memorial that none of his real friends went to, that even I didn't go to, because I don't get along very well with professional mourners, being one myself. Seems like I'm always getting into fights at funerals. You know, no one wants to hear that none of us expected to see 30 anyway, and now that a lot of us aren't, everybody's whining and crying about those who are the first to go. And fuck it. Because if you ain't ready every second of every third day, then you aren't really living. Because to know about life, I've surrounded myself with death. With the dead and dying. With the dope fiends. The drug addicts, the sex fanatics, the alcoholic underachievers, the thieves, the prostitutes, the dropouts, the deadbeats, and all the other misfits who didn't belong, who didn't want to belong to any clique or coven, but as a cult of compulsive, manic, obsessive degenerates who by no accident, by no freak of nature got chosen to be called up like they always knew they would. Which is why they gluttonized and devoured and eventually choked on a life that raced forward faster than I can stand to remember. Embrace the celebration of a lifestyle as evidenced in the Encyclopedia of Disaster. Panic, trauma, flesh, bloodshed, we are gathered together. Like the sacrifice of small animals offering themselves up to the divine savage. by ways of self-mutilation, body manipulation, psychic manifestations, intransference, fiendish agonies, psychopathetic identification with something greater that doesn't even exist, except as a seductive novelty of the profoundly disturbed souls. To reach that mystic state, like a plague, a sacred gift which unleashes the mechanism. Punishment is benediction, righteously putting an end to the infected mortal's parasitical existence. Oh, welcome to the necropolis of Unearthly Delights, where each new troublemaker desires a mark of identity, the branding iron, the needle, the gun, all victims. Declare themselves to be in rebellion against the church, the state, false virtue, convention, tradition, shall have placed upon their bodies, the mark of the beast, the mark of Cain, the designs of the devil, tattoos and piercings and brandings, brandishing the confusion of insane movements, hysterical screams, uncontained anxieties, the inevitable approach of danger, uncontrollable gestures of terror, fear, magnetized by the violence of their own panic, plunged into the spiral of the whirlpool, drawn in. We are all falling. A clear sensation of asphyxia, the awareness of having struggled in vain against the irresistible suction that swallows you up, sucked into the vortex, the vacuum, hanging by a thin thread. Attacks of fever, tremors, inner devastation. The overwhelmingly virulent clinging desperately to the ideal of an unnamed leader, as if to suspend the life sentence, the dilemma of our gradual extinction by the logic of the machine which devours and forces into quarantine. Forced into quarantine. Trussed up to trees, poles, scaffolds, beaten down by the wind in a dervish of panic lust, commenced to steam in flesh and shadow by scornful executioners who've shorn every last vestige of humanity. With the blood of 1,000 Christs, I wash my hands of mercy, blindly hurling myself into the red-hot lips of the volcano. Thick, white, heat releases steam through the punctured wounds. Long, slow, hard, suck. Ambushed by mouths trying to bite off more than enough to chew on for a while, being swept under, drinking in the poison of others. The only way out is through the crematorium's door. Escape is essential. There's no seeking shelter in the empty houses of the uneasy souls against the force of irresistible attacks. All those sick victims litter the landscape. Truth burns holes in the head of the undead, the unending cries and whispers of those treated unjustly. All the lovers of forgetfulness turn a blind eye, walk in single file, looking for a bridge tall enough to tumble from. Left with recriminations of all acts left undone, to rest in the belly of a pit where no sun will ever shine, stranded in an endless valley of unrest, bruised and battered in tatters like beasts in a black bed, head bent back upon the cutting block, in a final exorcism of doomed lust, the feverish rhythms of those who know they are condemned to die, not of old age, but at the dirty hands of the immaculate whirlpool, embraced by the wicked stepsister who cultivates the most vile and ominous attributes of the illegal brotherhood of the beatifically tortured bodies. He was born addicted to heroin on the 19th of March, 1971 in the LA County Community Hospital. conceived in hate, abuse, began in the womb. Another unwanted, unwelcome Latin loser born into the life cycle of a living hell. He came out screaming, contorted in pain, twisted faces, grimaced at the sight of another newborn junkie saddled with the sins of his forefathers. His papa left mama before the delivery, hoping to score a quick dime bag in order to celebrate the fact that he wasn't born brain dead or deformed, just a little bit fucked up. Papa never did return after busting up his bike on the way back from East L.A., where the local cholos insisted he join them in a toast to his first and only newly begotten son. Jack and Smack didn't mix too well, and Daddy took a spill which wiped the shit-eating grin clear off his puss. Never did try to see his son again. Mama didn't mind too much, blind to every need except the gnawing in her belly, the bruises between her skinny legs, and the unscratchable bitch of her addiction. She took the next shot on the delivery table 12 minutes after the prodigal son was shat out like a watermelon. His first meal was a weaning of morphine and methadone, a failed attempt to quell the spasms racking through his bloated little belly. He kicked and cried and tried to wish himself dead in the cradle of the nursery, surrounded by all the other undeserving unfortunates. All victims of boozy blood fucks, lust, ritual gangbangs. None, however, less wanted than he was. None more tempered with a vengeance to destroy the lousy fuckers who condemned him to his life sentence under the rule of pain and hate. And never a more hate-filled fucker than what he was destined to become. Oh, beautiful black is the color of my true love's hair. Smooth brown skin. Oh, yeah. I love the son of the devil's advocate. He grew up with a chip on his shoulder, all right. The size of Boulder Dam. At the age of 4, he was beaten into his first coma by Mommy's latest lover. Back in L.A. County, he remained for 3 weeks while they traced the swelling and clotting, hoping that permanent brain damage wouldn't result from the contusion suffered from the blow from the big black man's left hand. That he lived was a shining testimonial to his predestined mission, a lifelong tribunal littered with the scouring of the self-serving. At 6, he was witness to the degenerate urges of a third-generation coven of practicing devil worshippers. Passed from mouth to cock to crack, his mother initiated him into the Church of Satan, one of the many fuck toys brought into the delirious circle of the chronically demented. He was taught to please others and to enjoy the natural desires he was too young to deny himself of. He quickly became an unquenchable suitor in the pursuits of his own pleasures. Like so many others born into the cleansing circle of fated pain, he learned first how to turn his hatred against himself, and then against everyone else. At the world-weary age of 10, he had already instigated an involvement with the next-door neighbors, a family of 11, who took turns taking out their multiple frustrations on his battered hide. Mother, father, grandmother, daughter, son, suitors from 6 to 60 beat at his bound and gagged body. Calling out the names of saints, of sinners, of each other, they prodded, poked, and pronged themselves into his willing flesh. Like Christians at the altar of worship, they'd whip him into ritual frenzies. Cursing in the name of Satan and salvation, they cleansed themselves of evil influence, using him as a receptacle of their own perverted restitutions. 2 years later, the beating stopped. Although he claimed to never really tire of the abuse, he just needed stronger doses than what the granny's family could any longer deal out. He took his frustrations elsewhere and began his search for a suitable partner. At the age of 12, he moved in with 3 other delinquents, themselves no strangers to cruelty. Living in Hollywood, he began practicing up on his charming ways, fine-honing his skills of verbal manipulations. The only rule in house at 452 Franklin Avenue was that female flesh was to be tasted by all the members of his new family, the whoresome foursome, as they soon became notorious as. In rancid squalor, the petty abuse of these 4 juvenile tyrants was unparalleled. Filthy Swedish magazines littered the hovel, inspiring them forward on to new horrors. The wrecked room was home to ritual degeneracies dished up to the unending string of teenage girls foolish enough to be coaxed over. Whips, wire, various hardware hung suspended from the ceiling and walls, the only order in an otherwise disheveled bunker. The usual trick was to send out the youngest and the prettiest, usually him, into the evening sunset with one goal in mind: food for thought, fodder for abuse. Once inside, the more often than not intoxicated young bait was blindfolded, beaten, and raped by whoever was present at the time, taking turns on the tender flesh. Cigarettes seared in her thighs, bottles broke on kneecaps, and fingers, fists, and bricks did what they did best: batter, bruise, bleed. Sex came as the final reward. Here the young lords lacerated every opening with a vengeful deliverance. Tortures employed were waylaid on the replicons who stood before them, reminiscent of the mothers they abhorred. They, like their daddies before them, harbored the disease of a sexual affliction harnessed in by the reins of a superior physical dominance. After one particularly gruesome escapade involving the genital scarification of a 15-year-old girl from the valley, the police force were summoned, thus ending their 2-year reign of terror. Since all participants were still underage, no charges could possibly be pressed. So the cops simply destroyed what remained inside of the house, insisting on the immediate evacuation of 452 Franklin Avenue. With no bridges left to burn, at the age of 14, he was forced to return to his mother. Strung out on dope, pills, alcohol, his insidious habits forced him into an even more grisly pattern of deviations. Sporting by now a $125 a day habit, his nocturnal predatorials led him into the alleys and back streets of downtown L.A., where he began to prey upon smacked-out transvestites. Befriending a gaggle of the least homely Mexican and black queens, he began pimping and prostituting right alongside them. Nights would wind down around 6 a.m. with him gathered around the girls, collecting his 30% of the take, demanding a recount of blowjobs, handjobs, fist fucks administered, sympathizing generously with the most busted up of the crew. He'd take that wretch aside, insist upon a tear-soaked butt fuck, and after beating maliciously the whore about the head and neck, would rifle through the pockets and purse, removing all but a $10 bill. With a final kick up the ass, he'd send the queen falling onto his knees on the pavement and smirkily stride off in search of a score. Puking on the first rush of the day, he'd wipe the bile from his pant legs and lips and head back to crash on his mother's couch. In July '85, the walls came crashing in once more, when for the 3rd time that year he had his nose busted with a vacuum cleaner hose by his mother's latest lover, a would-be musician. In the heat of that sweltering midsummer's night, with bandages still intact, he ran into his mother's bedroom and stabbed the bastard smack in the heart with a small stainless steel buck knife, driving the blade deep inside the thick muscle. He cursed at the drunken bastard. "Just get out! Just get the fuck out, man! Just leave me alone! Just leave my mother alone! I'll kill you, I swear to God, I'll fucking kill you!" With fists bathed in blood, he pounded on the swelling gash, attempting to right the wrongs heaped upon the household under the blithering barbarian's rule. Self-defense landed him in juvenile detention until his 16th birthday. Once inside, he learned the joys of self-mutilation, and how by hurting yourself more than anyone else could ever care to want to, he earned the respect of the other inmates. Always the first one to fight, the hammering blows which pounded into him while outnumbered 3-1, he could never match the viciousness of which he would later reap upon himself. Alone in his bunk, the head bashing would begin. Smashing his skull into the damp cement walls was the only way he knew how to make the hurt go away. replacing an undescribable pain somewhere in the base of his brain with a concentrated, self-inflicted throbbing, somehow made the burden of his hatred easier to deal with. It was the same with the broken glass and rusty knife tips. It brought relief, waiting for the scabs and bruises to slowly, gently heal, knowing that they would eventually. Not as much could be said for the psychic or spiritual wounds left over from his life in holy hell. He was released on his 16th birthday after a 2-year incarceration. Custody, of course, was granted to his mother, who by now couldn't stand the sight of him, or the way his presence interfered with her endless stream of fuck-ups. Yeah, she had a thing for alcoholic pill poppers. Cast-offs from Easy Rider, Dirty Harry, Streetcar Named Desire. Men that had done more than their fair share of stretches in Sing Sing, Camarillo, San Quentin, Angola. The kind of cunts who didn't give a fuck how hard their lives were as long as they could make someone else equally as miserable. And that usually meant him. He was out of juvenile only 2 weeks when Mom's latest edition busted his face against the kitchen sink, breaking out 3 of his top front teeth. Blood splattered all over the white tile linoleum, and he was told to just clean it up. Just pick up your goddamn teeth and take them over to the free clinic in East Hollywood, all right? Laughing hysterically and sobbing between gales, he spits a big wad of blood and phlegm into the left cheek of the Peter Fonda look-alike, who starts punching him repeatedly in the face. But he stood tough, yeah. Tear-stained blood drops running down his chin, laughing. It was only when the fucker reached for the frying pan that he ran through the house swearing, tearing out the front door, slamming it behind him. The cast-iron skillet bolts out after him, crashing mightily into the center of his forehead, screaming at the top of his lungs for the wasted mongrel to come out. Hey, prove what a big man you are. What kind of chicken shit sissy low-life motherfucker fights with a frying pan anyway, huh? Hey, fuck you, man. Fuck you. And just as he's flipping the bastard off, a 67 beat the shit Ford Fairlane comes barreling around the corner, his mom at the wheel, knocking our young hero flat on his busted ass where his head smashes into the fender and a concussion follows. His mother backs the car up after nearly killing him in a jealous stupor of hostility and hate. I mean, after all, Mama had to stand defensively beside her raving madman. I mean, she knew a good thing when she had one. She was hoping all these riled up emotions would soon be employed in another glorious, raging hate fuck. Wasn't that the only reason she had for tolerating these child-hating wife-beaters, huh? The sexual delirium their mania would plunge her into? That free fall? The spiral? He wakes up in L.A. County 2 days later with a note taped to his bedside table. Please don't come home, is all it says. No love, Mom. No love. Nothing. He pulls the tube from his nose, rejects the IV hose from his right arm, and gets dressed. A man with a mission. Dizzy and penniless, he thumbs a ride the 6.5 miles home, stopping first at the Ralph supermarket on La Brea Avenue. Determined not to get caught, he proudly saunters over to the hardware section, shoplifting 3 bottles of lighter fluid, a large box of matches, and a Hershey's chocolate bar. He heads off down Sunset, steely-eyed. Sneaking around to the back of the house, he kicks open the basement window, pummeling the glass with steel boot tips. He finds his mother passed out on the living room couch. How unusual. A dirty black slip hiked to the hips. Popping the safety lock on the first bottle of lighter fluid, he draws a heart around the witch who for the last 16.5 years has filled him with the hatred of her disease. Kissing her softly on the cheek, he whispers in her ear, "There's no place like home. There's no place like home. There's no place like home, especially when you don't have a fucking home." He leaves a trail of thick spittle running down her chin. Slapping her once in the face for good luck, she twitches and calls out, "Johnny? Johnny? Is that you?" He lies and coos, "Yeah, it's me. Don't get up. I'm just going down to the liquor store. I'll be right back." She rolls over, a tiny smile crossing her twisted lips. He pulls one of her cigarettes from the full pack beside her and lights up. blowing out the first match. He anoints her with the liquid combustible, baptizing her with the sign of the cross. Chanting in Latin, he begins to pray. Dread Lord of the dark flame, give power. I did not condemn them. They condemned themselves. Informed of their indiscretions, I had no choice. When confronted with the evidence that they had become arrogant in their manner toward the guardians of decency, they conducted strange, dark rites, unholy and terrible, which violated the precincts of the church. So he condemned them to death. So he condemned them to death. So he condemned them to death. It was only right. Dread Lord of the dark flame, give power. Hail, Satan. Kneeling beside her, he sets her thick black hair on fire. The damp couch quickly ignites. The circle of fire engulfing her sleepy body. A ring of fire in the shape of a horseshoe burns brightly, quietly. Backing up out of the heat, he traces her name in butane on the tables and chairs. Rifling through her purse, he stuffs his pockets with dollars and change. Emptying the leftovers of the last 2 canisters, the liquid fluid burns a beautiful, soothing blue. He backs out the front door, savoring the miracle of the flames, unable to pull himself away from such a delicious spectacle. His reverie overpowers. Stuck in place, a massive erection swells from his gut. With half-closed eyes, he begins groping, fondling, pulling on himself. The heat, the smell of burning hair, stimulating unknown pleasures. Jacking roughly, ready to spout, he drops to his knees, swearing in Spanish, cursing his mother with satanic litanies recollected from his tortured childhood. What men are they who haunt these fatal glooms, and fill their living mouths with dust of death, and make their habitations in the tombs, and breathe eternal sighs with mortal breath, and pierce life's veil of various error, to reach that void of darkness and old terror? The vilest things must be less vile than thou, from whom it had its being, God and Lord, creator of all woe and sin abhorred. I vow that not for all thy power furled and unfurled, for all the temples to thy glory built, would I assume the ignominious guilt of having made such men in such a world. Making the sign of the cross in a final desecration, he spewed forth a vile, rank, and cantankerous spew, which shot halfway across the room, a small droplet landing on Mommy's lip. Exhausted, nearly delirious, he breaks out in a fit of laughter, rolling around in circles on the floor. The flames lick at a lock of his own hair. Beating himself about the head, he extinguished the small blaze and decided to get the fuck out. Once outside the sweltering inferno, he felt relieved, free of sin, of guilt, free of shame, released, set free. Stopping to count the cash collected from the dying woman's bag, he gathers his breath. It was at this very unfortunate interval that his grandfather, the retired World War II drill sergeant, decides to pull up. Sprinting out of the car, maniacal grin, ear to ear, Grandpa barrels in for a bone-crushing bear hug, lifting him clear off the ground, spinning him around in centrifugal circles. How the hell are you? Hey, long time no see. Yeah, 4 or 5 years, the wise one replies. So you're out, huh? Yeah, I'm out. Well, let's go inside. Now, my mother's sleeping. I with no choice left, he's dragged to the front door, locked in a sturdy embrace. As the old man goes to open the door, his fingers singe on the heat of the metal knob. Terrified recognition crosses the old man's war-torn face. Turning to face each other, he begins pounding, fists, feet against the young pyro's pliant body. Defenseless against the blows, he accepts them with resignation. This wasn't his first adventure in punishment rendered for crimes committed. Dragging him across the lawn to the nearest neighbors, held in a vice-like headlock, there was no chance for escape. He didn't even fucking try. The ambulance was the first to arrive, followed quickly by the police and the fire department. He was roughly handcuffed, shoved in the back of the police van, and returned once more to juvie, where he was to spend 6 more miserable months until finally, on his 18th birthday, he was released on good behavior. He got out and got strung out again. The pressure and the loneliness, too much. Nowhere to go. No one to talk to. No money, no drugs, no nothing. He started hanging out at the sleazy bars on Hollywood and Vine, picking up on the aging go-go girls, ex-strippers and prostitutes. Women used to his kind of abuse, who through some kind of defense mechanism mistook this type of attention as affection. All victims themselves of lonely lives lost to the thieving streets. He'd hook 'em, oh yeah, on his own addiction to bone-crushing power fucks, twisting them up inside until they'd love him just enough to support his various bad habits. Dust, speed, coke, dope, cocktails. They only spurred on his need for retribution. Using any available icon, he punished ferociously the sins of his mother, banging his full body weight into the willing receptors. Every sexual escapade became an act of unmitigated violence. As blood raced from brain cells, fist became engorged, outraged, pounding inside them. Punching would follow. Black eyes, bruised lips, blood clots, teardrops. He took out on them what the rest of the world took out on him. 18 years of hardship, mishap, and hellfire would boil over, bursting forth in unstoppable fits, spasms. His only satisfaction came through another's annihilation. To make them hurt as much as he did was the only way to relieve the pain he could no longer bear reliving. It was a late autumn night after a serious session of titty torture and humiliation involving Patty, a burnt-out 33-year-old ex-Vegas showgirl fallen on hard times and bad luck, that he stumbled upon his near-mirror reflection. A beautiful young Latino girl sprawled out in the alley in back of the showgirl's crash pad. Thinking her just drunk and fucked up, he stumbled over, kicking the teenager in the ribs. Hard. No reply. Kicked her twice in the ass. Nothing. Cracked her head against the dumpster. No response. Slapped her soft, velvety face. Again. Dead. OD'd. Crumpled into a small, wet, raggedy heap littered before him. He bent down, stuck his hands in her pockets. $30 in that out-of-town ID stating she was 15. He took the needle from her inner elbow, tasting the blood-crusted junk. Not bad, he mumbled, lifting the tiny girl up over his shoulder, slipping her quietly into the trash receptacle, looking back to make sure no one had seen. He traveled east, hoping to score a quick dime. Within minutes, he was fixing 2 alleyways away, using the very same needle recovered from the human wreckage left rotting in the garbage can. No sooner had the shit started rocketing into his bloodstream than the bile pushed forward, pulsing into his throat, out his mouth. Not bad, he grumbled, stoned, but still bitter. He sunk to his knees, tumbling forward, the weight of his heartless disconcern crashing into him. The realization that he had finally become everything he had hated and everybody else was a burden he was not prepared to face. He picked up the dejected works, plunging the spike over and over again into his arms, his wrist, his hands, his neck, stabbing wildly. He was searching frantically for a valve that would unhinge, that would release, that would set free. He was trying to find a black hole somewhere deep inside, that once plundered, it would concentrate all the pain and horror and heartache into a solid-bodied center, looking for a way in to the void, that would lovingly engulf, lovingly embrace, lovingly surround, lovingly erase, looking for somewhere somehow, someone who could help him to house the unending cycle of pain and hate. Yeah, looking for someone like me.
Dear Dad, yeah, just a little message because, well, I guess you haven't heard from me in what seems like a goddamn coon's age, right? Yes, I'm okay. Sure, I'm eating all right and everything. No, I do not have a steady boyfriend. Why the hell would I want one of those anyway? Yes, I'm living in New York City again. I know I'm a goddamn gypsy, but you ain't got nothing to talk about. You left home when you were 14, too, and you ain't settled down yet either. Sure, I'll get a job and go straight, right? As soon as you do, I will. It sounds like some kind of a deal to me, right? God damn it. And still buggier than a shithouse rat. Yeah. I know, the first million's the hardest. I'm still working on that, Ron. I'm going to be working on that one until kingdom comes. I know you'll take a pound of 50s the day my ship comes in, but until that time, looks like we're going to be drowning awful slow, Daddy. I know it only takes one hit single, but what the hell? That's one inconvenience we don't have to worry about right for some time, right? And maybe I could concentrate on a slightly more reputable profession like bank robbing or kidnapping or whatever. Yeah, I know you know me. I haven't made an honest buck in my whole life, and you know that ain't the only thing we got in common either, you know? Because I think we turned out just like two bad pennies cut from the same old mold. That's right, two bad pennies. I know Ma used to always say, God damn it, if you ain't your father's daughter, I'd say sure as shit hope so, because of the milkman and the mailman and all the other neighbors in a 20-mile radius weren't blacker than the ace of goddamn spades. And I do remember that time when shit. You always used to remind me about how ugly I was as a baby. I know that Ma and Grandma cried when I was brought in. I was that ugly, and you said, maybe she'll have a good personality, or she'll grow out of it or something, or some other smart-ass remark like, quick, I can always go trade her when the nurses aren't looking, right? And the chances as good as not that you might have done so, and well, did ya? Or didn't ya? Anyway. And what about that time you said, hey, did you ever see a picture of yourself when you were a baby? I said, what do you mean? I've seen lots of pictures of myself as a baby. You said, no, a newborn baby, a newborn. I said, well, no. Why? Come to think of it, I haven't. And you said, well, Jesus, just so happens I got one in my back pocket. Found it the other day. That's right, run right here. Shit, you were a homely little fucker. That's right, ugly, and you pull it out. God damn it, if I was born in closer to the toilet, they would flush me right down. All dark brown skin, black curly hair, man, looking more than a little bit afro, right? Looking an awful lot like a little monkey or worse. Shit, right, and I'm laughing real hard thinking, man, my poor mother, no wonder she was crying. You should have known right then that the horrors were just beginning, Daddy, and I'm laughing, and you're laughing, and me laughing, because that wasn't even a picture of me at all, but just some little nigger baby that you found on the street somewhere, right? All right, I'm never gonna forget that one. Yeah, you had a few good ones. Like the way you used to sing every Glenn Campbell song this side of By the Time I Get to Phoenix, Galveston, oh, Galveston, right? Yeah, you were the rhinestone cowboy. Always gentle on my mind, Daddy. Always gentle. That is, Daddy, until I start thinking about the real you. You know? You were always way more Johnny Cash than Glenn or Ernie or even Elvis, all dressed in black on your honeymoons, hands on fire, pigs' heads on sticks. The desert got the best of the devil. He took to hearts and hardened. And Ma, well, she was so and helplessly hopeless, right? Ashes on the dinner plate. She tended to believe, which belies the truth. And she looked on the dimmer side of things, just like me. So ugly, so ugly, the way eternity rots itself to sleep in me. I see no rest. Yeah, reality scared the shit out of her, too, especially that time. Now, I don't know what I did. You know, because I was always doing something. Always doing something. But all of a sudden, you took me over your knee. I must have been about 13 or 14 by now and started wailing the shit out of me. Really wailing on my ass right with the bottom of your shoe. No soft shoe here either. No siree. And I'm screaming, Ma, he's killing me. He's killing me. And she ran all the way up the stairs, tripping halfway up and yelling, Lenny, what the hell are you doing to her? And she said, shut the fuck up. She just get what she deserves, right? And I say, yeah, you always get what you deserve. But when? And you said now. And you just kept beating the shit out of me. And I kept screaming. And Ma started screaming. And then the neighbor started screaming. What the fuck is going on in there? And you said, none of your fucking business, shithead. Just stick it in your goddamn house and shut the fucking door, asshole. Lock the door. And I ran away while all this yelling was going on, right? Which made you yell even more. Get the fuck back here, you little goddamn tramp. I'll slap some goddamn manners on you. I'll teach you to talk like that. And I was running halfway down the street, right? Forgot all about what the hell I was getting beaten for because, you know, you hardly ever did that to me anyway. No, I don't remember too many beatings, not too many wallopings. No. You had other ways, right? Better ways of torturing the shit out of me, right? Yeah, and goddamn it, I believe you every time if you didn't have me fool saying, yeah, sure we can burn that thing off. No problem. We'll just try it with some real hot washcloths. Come on now. Come on, pull your panties down now. Come on. What are you waiting for? And well, you know, it was kind of natural then because about once a week, I think it was on Wednesdays, right, you'd get out these scalding hot rags and place them on that little brown freckle on my ass. You know, God, how I hated that thing. Now, you can call it a mole or you can call it a beauty mark, but I just called it a pain on my ass, right, spoiling that picture perfect, pure little pork ass. And I thought that once we had that burned off, man, all my problems would disappear. Slip right out the door, the back door, so to speak, but out the door. But once again, proved dead wrong. Because right about then is really when all my troubles were just beginning. You know? About then. I was just a little thing, always too big for my britches, you know, and there I was, standing on top of the sink, you know, sticking out what I thought it was that needed correction, and getting all hot and cold, because one of the chicks, you'd say, was alternating the washcloths, you know, one real hot, one real cold, one real hot, one real cold, and I'd be standing up there all squealing like a little stuck pig in heat, you know, all giggly and shit, when suddenly, well, I don't know whether it was hot or cold, but it was definitely wet, you know, whatever it was, go right in between my legs, and my hands are all outstretched, right all the way out in front of me, because I'm up on the sink. I'm standing on the sink, holding onto the wall for support, standing all stark bare-assed, you know, sticking it out, standing 3'6", 6 or 7 years old, pretty as a picture. By now, you were right, Daddy, I'd grow out of it, but not grow out of your tongue, slipping between my legs, going, come on now, open up. And it's all tickly, right? And I'm all squirming up the storm, wiggling all over the place, and every 2 out of 6 licks, right, you kiss the target spot, and I feel a little bit of warming, a little wriggling, like some kind of goddamn garden snake, right, crawling up my asshole, just snaking around, you know, licking my pussy all slippery and gooey and stinky, and I'd start smelling that slightly rank smell that I would grow, so painfully familiar with, you know, that slight stink of my sweet little baby pussy, right, mixing with your stinky cigarette and onion and a little bit of bourbon breath, right, a little bit of bourbon breath, because shit, you didn't have nowhere to go all the time in the world and 1,000 ways to fucking kill it. What the hell, you didn't work a single solitary day in my first 8 years, and while Mom's away, old dickhead will play, right, and I know all your favorite games, Daddy, I know all your favorite games, because they've always been my favorite too, right, always will be, like, shh, go to sleep, go to sleep now. You know, and I'd get into bed hoping real hard that tonight would not be the night that I'd be struck down from up above, right? From lying in bed and wanting so bad exactly what it was that I shouldn't want to know, and too that you wanted it worse. And shit, right? Just because you didn't believe in heaven and hell didn't mean I didn't. And shit, you go to a good Catholic school, right, and they teach you certain things, like it's wrong when a priest or anyone sticks their hands up your dress, right? And bad kids go to hell because they lie in bed with their eyes screwed up real tight, like squeezing real hard together their legs, rolling and rocking real soft side to side, you know, almost crying because it felt so good when I'd hear you spit on your filthy fingers, you know, once or twice, depending on how generous you were feeling that. Yeah, you know, and those little baby cheeks of mine all puckering up, all tense, squeezing together real tight, all locked up, pretending to be asleep, you know, even when your greasy fingers would start working their greasy way into my little asshole, you know, going real slow. Oh, you were a real Romeo, right? No 32nd Johnny, you all know, making ugly little noises with your ugly mouth, sucking in spurts of air, right? Little spurts and gasps, and I'd almost gag in the stink of onions and cigarettes and whiskey, you know, stinking up my hair, because you'd always lie behind me, right? Real sneaky and shit, like a thief in the fucking night would, and stealing from me my most precious possessions, right? Stealing every vestige of self-respect and privacy and goodness and hope and charity and faith, and putting in its place, because you wouldn't take nothing without putting something twice as bad in its place, and putting in place of honor and dignity and respectability and normal God-fearing goodness your filthy fingers and tongue, and dicking me out of ever having a normal relationship with a normal man. Fucking me up, right? Fucking me right at the end of your probing, destructive, trampling desecration, and putting in place of me your stink and filth and vile hatred for the whole human race, you filthy son of a bitch, lazy fucking asshole, good for nothing bastard. I hate you. Love, Lydia.
What I want, all I really want is a 1-minute relief or terminal distraction. Take me away from the blood and the guts and make me think of blondes in the backwoods. Tell me all kinds of dirty stories, you know, the kind you make up when you're dreaming. How alone you are, and how many miles it is to the nearest river. I wish I could wash all the shit off my fists and get a new slant on life. Or a machine gun. Remind me of all the things I've forgotten, you know, how big are your hands, the touch of a wet bed on the back of my neck, thick mouths, the way the cards are dealt out, lost words, no time, collusions, the names of cities, the number of car crashes per square inch. I want a mutual exchange rate and a worthy trustee. You know, the right amount of animal instinct married to incomprehensible genius in the shape of a dirty, dirty little boy who knows and wants the real thing. I want what I want when I want it. A hole the size of the Mississippi to crawl into. A pile of gold the size of a Cadillac. A ranch in the middle of nowhere for underprivileged juvenile delinquents. Yeah, that's it. A fistful of Berettas. A couple dozen bullets. A few dozen hammers. And a new pair of cowboy boots. Yeah, that's it. They force us to clip the wings off angels and to kiss the devil's asshole. They expect us to surrender to a myth of a higher power, a higher ground, a higher love, a better world. We are forced to abandon the ship of our dreams and desires for their myths of perfection, of glory, of power. We putrefy in the stench of someone else's nightmare, but the only real demons, The only real demons are the ones inside you, leeching away on your energy for the purpose of an early grave. The hellhound on my trail howls with my own throat as I roam the night, searching for something, for someone, for something to lose myself in. Oh, fear eats the soul. We have to be fearless. We have to be twice as strong as they are, to battle the voices within and the forces without. To those who would seek to destroy, to repress, and to batter into submission our pride, our dreams, our beauty, first we must learn to overcome the doubts within ourselves, which conspire to paralyze. And we must learn how to scream and to kick into the void, to remember and to never forget, to remember and to never forget that we have a voice and that it will be heard. We must turn the tide. In this interminable shock corridor of distorted mirrors and disturbed voices entwining to create a buzz in the ears, like electrical wires outside the windows, like insects outside the screen, memories bombard and ricochet endlessly inside the skull, where it's as lonely as the grave, as hollow as the crypt. We must learn to build mausoleum to the living dead, a shrine to the mummification of the body while it's still breathing, and to the death of possibilities and the annihilation of potential. The cruelest joke of all is that the finger on the trigger is always our own, clenching and shaking in a delirium tremors as we shoot ourselves down again and again, shadowboxing forever in this sarcophagal funhouse of the emotionally crippled, in an endless vortex, a permanent vertigo, spinning, sick and tired, nauseous from centrifugal force, crushing, maiming, battering, existing barely enough to take in the barrage of images from the maggot-ridden minds of control freaks, of Jesus freaks, of retrograde pigs of every variety who want to belittle you at every turn, to browbeat you into believing what you've been taught from the dawn of time, that you are worthless, that you are weak, that you don't matter, that you don't count, that it doesn't matter if you live or die because you barely exist, that they know better anyhow, are better, that you are hideous, mutated, and ugly in the eye of the beholder, that you're an eyesore. Hey, your eyes are sore from staring at televisions and movies and magazines that are selling their version of perfection at a price you can't pay, at a price you cannot pay. You shouldn't have to pay it. You don't owe it. The debt, it's negative in your favor. The original sin is on the hands of those that give breath without life and body without pleasure. It is they who are the whoremongers, the soul suckers, the liars and cheats, and the killers. For it is they who conspire to kill your capacity for pleasure, your appreciation of beauty, to kill you and be done with it, to do away with you and your burdensome desires for truth and for understanding. What we'll be speaking about today is one of my favorite subjects, the battle of sex as an animal act fucked up by your emotions. The human animal, of which so many of you are, struggles vainly in an attempt to control his natural animal instincts in order to be better able to fit into the norm of society, a contradiction in terms. Sometimes, however, due either to chemical or hormonal imbalance, a fist of facts,
or just a plain good old flagrant disregard for the outdated and inhibitional so-called code of ethics, the thin line which separates the animal from the vegetable is obliterated, leaving them free to intoxicate their need for the lowest common denominator. The mating of brute ignorance and a sheer force of will enable them to meet and greet any danger, no matter how devastating the consequence, in order to fuel that necessary agitation which feeds their entire existence. Without this stimulating intoxicant, the banality of their boring and stupid, dull, miserable, good-for-nothing lives becomes too chronic and depressing a constant to bear. Only through the threat of constant danger or the imprisonment of incomprehensible pain can they find a suitable distraction to veer them away from this dull reality which they try so desperately to escape. The reality that every stinking, boring, useless, unnecessary day of the rest of your miserable, goddamn, useless, stupid, and pathetic life is going to be spent struggling to survive and afford that rotten, useless, no good for nothing next day. To be able to afford the rent, the gas bills, the phone bills, the speeding tickets, to live by the rules, the regulations, the laws, to meet the curfews, the deadlines, to stand in the bread lines, the phone lines, the cons, the rip-offs, that's what we're talking about. The Lydia Lunch lines, the bullshit rap, babe. You know all about it, that's why you're here. Judge and jury. But what we're going to be talking about is the real men, the outlaws, the kind of men that aren't content with fitting into your society. Because to fit into your society would be dull, dumb, boring, stupid, useless, just like their own. And they say, look, Lydia, they tell me confidentially, of course, look, babe, I'm not easing into anything. I don't want to ease in. I don't want to fit in. I don't want to fit in. I just want to pretend I'm a neo-Nazi with a nightstick dick. Hey, no brains, baby, but banging into yours in the middle of the night, trying to squeeze out of you whatever don't fit right in with their ideologically unsound concepts of reality. And how they want to alter yours by offering you up as some kind of human sacrifice. All the while just waiting to see if you're pig-headed or chicken-hearted enough to beg for your own life once they've got you hog-tied. But that's what it's all about. Animal liberation and the right to be a pig. Because that's what it's all about. So we're here to talk about tonight. We're here to get the facts once and finally for fucking all straight. Because that's what it's all about. Yeah, that's what it's all about. Getting fucked. Getting fucked. Getting fucked up, fucked over, fucked around with, or just plain good old-fashioned fucked. And you guessed it if you said the biggest dick. No, he's not sitting right there. You guessed it if you said that the biggest dick was some senile, octogenarian asshole who gets off jerking off all over the deaf, dumb, and blind, fat-assed, white, middle-class American morons who'll eat shit and accept it sucks as long as it's sugar-coated, tax-deductible, and you don't have to think about it twice. And the less you think, the more they like you. And the more they like you, the more I hate you.
said, and we're going to be talking about him a lot tonight, he said in a voice rich with the promise of soon-to-be-fulfilled dreams, magnolia honey in an unlimited supply of greenbacks, sounding exactly the way men most often do when they don't know what the fuck they're talking about, in a voice reminiscent of a 39-year-old ex-mental health outpatient from the backwoods of Virginia right after he got through screwing me in the back parking lot of a Safeway and giving me some form of incurable venereal disease of a non-specific sort. That I was loved by millions. That I was loved by millions. That I just had been loved by millions after I had been loved by him. That I would and should be worshipped by the multitudes who in return for that glimpse of light, of life, of love and laughter would bless me in kind with their undying adoration, with their everlasting respect. He said that he would do everything in his personal power to see that I was bathed in honey, in milk, and in the blood of young blonde virgins. He said that my personal generosity would be rewarded with undying love and respect. With undying love, he stressed that point. With undying love. I said in a voice reminiscent of a 1950 TV evangelist who turns tricks into profits, that I couldn't think of anything that could be fucking worse, that I couldn't think of anything that could be fucking worse, that I couldn't think of anything that could possibly be better than the fact that the cancer has finally become contagious and is spreading. Just like I predicted, just like in my predictions, I see leper colonies on the horizon as far as the eye can see. I want to build a fail-proof, foolproof fallout shelter in the middle of the badlands of Montana to keep me safe from you. To keep you safe from me. Safe from the disease. Because I'm just here to spread the disease. That's right. I'm just here to spread the disease. Brothers and sisters, hear me out. I'm just here to spread the disease because the disease is the cure. Because the disease is the cure. Because it cures your ills. Because it kills your ills. Because it kills you. And you're your worst fucking problem anyway. I know. It's Sunday afternoon and you're trying to recover from last night, from doing what you wanted to do, but maybe only you didn't really get to do it because, like on Saturday night, I know what I like to do, hey. I like to, snort some dope, shoot some speed, smoke a couple of joints, drink a couple of beers, drink a gallon of whiskey, and then get really drunk and go out looking for the first person that'll fuck me. Yeah, that's it. That's it. That's what I like to do. And as a matter of fact, that's why I came here today. I hope I didn't miss it by not being here on Saturday night. That's what I came for today. Yeah. To meet my match. Oh, baby, there he is. The man of my dreams. I know what kind of man. Let me guess. Let me close my eyes and guess. I'm going to use my psychic healing powers now. He's the kind of man, if you're my kind of man, he's the kind of man that whispers, oh, baby, just pull your pants down and come with me now. Baby, yeah. Baby. 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 I don't want to hurt you. That's right, baby. I don't want to hurt you. I don't want to hurt you. Oh, what? Oh, you think I want to fucking hurt you? Is that the fucking problem? You think I want to fucking hurt you? Hey, asshole! Yo, yeah, look at me, baby. Hey, bitch! Yo, what's the matter? You think I'm gonna fucking hit you? Is that the problem? Oh, you're fucking begging for it. Is that what you fucking want? You want me to fucking hit you, you stupid fucking
bitch, you're sitting there fucking begging for me to fucking hit you. Is that what you fucking want, huh? Is that what you fucking want? What? Don't touch me! Don't fucking touch me! Don't touch you! I wouldn't fucking touch you with his dick! I wouldn't fuck you if you were the last fucking fuck on earth, fuck! It's because you're too fucking fat, bitch. Too fucking ugly. Yo, Madonna, hey, yeah. Hey, new wave, yo, hardcore. Yo, baby. Yo, freaky. Yeah, the freaks come out at night. You're a little bit early, yo. Yeah, just like my good old friend Henry Rollins says, though. No pain, no gain. Just like all those boys named Johnny and Jimmy and Joey and Henry and Marty and Sniffy and Spiffy and Cuffy and Scuffy and Scruffy and asshole say, no pain, baby, no gain. No pain, no gain. No pain, no gain. And after all, since I can't kill myself, I'm just trying to kill the pain. That's it. Hey, understand me, baby. I'm just trying to kill the pain. That's what he's whispering in my ear. I'm just trying to kill the pain. I don't want to hurt you. I don't want to hurt you. I want to help you, yeah. I want to help you to hurt yourself. I want to help you to hurt yourself so that you can hurt as much as I hurt. That's it. Yeah, I just want to kill the fucking pain. Because there's a war inside my head. That's it. Yeah, big man, there's a war inside my head. And it's telling me to do all kinds of disgusting, filthy, ugly, sick, stupid things. I wake up every goddamn day and I gotta listen to the same thing. I look at the fucking mirror. I gotta listen to the same thing. It's yelling at me. It's screaming in my face. It's telling me, how can I not listen? I'm an American death machine. I'm an American death machine. I'm death on wheels, baby, yeah. I'm death on wheels. I'm an accident ready to happen. I'm a walking time bomb. I'm the birth of tragedy. I'm big fucking enemy. This has always been a one-way street, and it's always been me versus you. So the next time you're in the fucking supermarket buying those rice and beans, remember me. Because I'm the sniper in the supermarket. I'm the Tylenol killer. I'm the hillside strangler. I'm the Boston strangler. I'm the Night Stalker. I'm Ted Bundy. I'm John Wayne Gacy. Yeah, I'm John Wayne Gacy. Yeah. No, Manson. Yeah, I'm Manson. I'm Jim Morrison, baby. I'm Jim Jones. Yeah, I'm Clint Eastwood. I'm Clint Ruin. I'm Mario Andretti. I'm Muhammad Ali. Yeah, Muhammad Ali. I'm Gaddafi, Khomeini. I'm the fucking Ku Klux Klan. You're so much better. That's why you're where you are today. Looking at my asshole. Yeah, allow me to, let me come back down to basics, Mr. Hi-Fi. I'm the average, Mr. Excitement, and that's the problem. I am boring, because I am the average, and allow me to underline that. Average. All American. Shut the fuck up. Hard-working, hero, zero. That's turned into a killer, I wish. It's turned into a rapist. Huh. You couldn't rape a fucking paper bag. That's turned into a terrorist, a hitman, a henchman, a gambler, a gangster, a psychopath, a sociopath. Yeah, fucking sociopath, that's it. But baby, you gotta understand, really basically deep down inside, I am a sensitive man. I do understand. You gotta understand. It wasn't me. I didn't mean to do it. I didn't mean to hit you. I didn't mean to kill you. It was the killer inside me, that's it. It was the killer inside me. He told me to do it. He made me do it. I didn't want to listen to him. I couldn't help myself. I'll never do it again. I swear on a stake of fucking Bibles, baby. I'll never do it again. 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 But yeah, I couldn't control myself. I couldn't control myself because I'm a man possessed. And besides, I did it all for Jesus. I did it all for Jesus. I did it all for God. I did it all for God and my country. I did it all for the Lord, baby. Look, I was only doing what I was told to do, all right? I was only doing what I was supposed to do. I was only doing what they made made me do. I mean, it's a dirty job, but somebody's got to fucking do it, right? Somebody's got to fucking do it. I mean, somebody's got to kill those fucking gooks, those chinks, those slits, the kikes, the wetbacks, the blacks, the reds, the whites, the yellows, because you're all fucking yellow. Because the whites are all fucking yellow. Because you're all fucking yellow. And that's why you get me up here to do your goddamn dirty work. Because you know. You know. Deep down inside, I know you can see it and feel it within me. I am Mr. Mighty Whitey Helter Skelter Hero Man with a big bad heart on, oh how it hurts, with a big bad hot rod who hates God. I hate God because God was the first cop. The first cock. The first big-dicked, mean-assed, stingy, do-nothing, goddamn low-life motherfucker that condemned me to this fucking life sentence to begin with, where I've been trying to escape for the last 10, 20, 40, 60, 80, 110,000 years of my rotten, stinking, fucking miserable life. But like you all know, sitting in your comfortable little seats on a Sunday afternoon, there is no escape. There's a million fucking escapes. I've tried every single one of them. They don't work. Yeah. You just gotta go with me now. You just gotta pretend and forget all your problems. Just close your eyes like you're coming with me. Close your eyes like you're with me. Like you're dreaming. Yeah, close your eyes like we're dreaming together. Like we're dreaming together, like we're alone in bed and we're dreaming together. I wanna tell you what I'm dreaming, baby. We're alone in bed and I'm dreaming. You're lying beside me, you're squirming and quivering. You're hard, you're wet. I'm dreaming I'm trapped inside the body of a 365 black man named Willie. Yeah, 365-pound black man named Willie. Yo, baby, yeah. Oh, honey. Yeah, baby. Oh, yeah. I'm driving 365 miles an hour into a brick abutment for the 365th time on my 47 Harley, yeah. Over and over again. In slow motion. In slow motion. Because the road to nowhere is covered with shit. It's covered with drunks. With drugs. With fuck. It sucks. You too. I'm floating on a broken shoelace in a sea of my own piss and pus and cum and blood. I see 452-mile-long forest fires that your plane crashes into at 2 in the morning. You're coming to see me, baby. We're nude again. We're in bed, yeah. Open sewers with dead babies floating, rotten, half-eaten fetal attack. I see bombs bursting in air. I see rifles ricocheting off the bellies of pregnant women. I laugh, baby, at shopping mall murders. I see polluted cities crumbling beyond recognition. I see animals, men, women, and children. I see animals, men, women, and children burning. I saw so many fucking burnt buildings on the way over here today. I thought there was a war going on. I thought I was in the Middle East. I was just in the middle of Detroit. And I'm talking to some guy, some black dude, and he's like, yo, baby, just listen to me. Yo, mama, where you going? Yo, with that fur coat. Yo, shit. Say Regis Hotel, Detroit Institute of Art. Yo, listen. Yo, bitch, will you listen to me for one goddamn mighty whitey one motherfucking second? Yo, woman. Yo, bitch. Yo. You hear what I'm saying, woman? You hear what I'm saying? I'm saying, listen, would you just listen to me? God damn it. Oh, my God. Would you just listen to what I'm saying? Look, on my way over here, right? My 3 little children got incinerated in one of those fires, all right? My wife, she died. My house burned down. The cops burned my house down because I couldn't pay my rent. They wanted to collect that insurance money. Now I'm burnt out, right? I'm just asking you, yo, white bitch. I'm just asking you for one simple favor, one small favor on a Sunday afternoon. I'm just asking you, yo, sister, can you spare a dime? Yo, sister, what about $1? Yo, woman, what about $10? Yo, what about a dime bag? Yo, can you spare a dime bag? How can you spare a dime bag? You see, I'm already contaminated because it's so fucking carcinogenic. And I'm just trying to kill myself. Oh, no, I mean, I'm hanging on by a thread. Yeah, I'm trying to strangle myself. No, yeah, I'm hanging on by a thread. Yeah. I'm trapped inside. and it's obvious from looking at me. I'm trapped inside the perfect torture chamber, where it's the endless mind fuck, the endless rip off, rub out, burn out, bum deal, bad trip, death trip. Yeah, the endless fucking death trip. That's where we're at. That's what we're at. Yeah. And then you wonder why I'm in a permanent bad mood. Then you wonder why I'm in a fucking permanent bad mood. Then you wonder why all I do is nag and complain and whine and bitch and stamp and pout. Then you wonder why I'm disgusted that I didn't go into my first line of occupation and I'm just standing up here bitching to a bunch of flabby assholes. Yeah, then you wonder why. Oh, but don't get me wrong, it's not that I think you don't understand or anything. Oh, it's not that I think you don't understand. It's that I don't want to understand. It's that I don't fucking want to understand anything anymore. It's that I don't want to hear about it. Yeah, I don't want to hear about it. I don't want to see it. I don't want to know about it. I don't want to know nothing that I don't already know, all right? I don't want to fucking know about it. Look, I wouldn't know the fucking truth if it slapped me in the face. You wouldn't know the fucking truth if it slapped you in the fucking face. You wouldn't even know it hit you if I slapped you in the fucking face. And the only reason, let me appeal to you on a human level. The only reason I would slap you in the face is because I look around me, I see, oh yeah, we're all artists here. And after all, an artist has got to suffer. Hey, an artist has got to suffer. An artist has got to suffer. That's what they taught you in fucking art school, you fucking art holes. Hey, look, I've already paid my dues 10, 20, 50 years later. Hey, I'm just paying my dues, baby. I'm just up here. I'm paying my dues. I know I can retire in 50 more years. Look, that don't bother me none. I'm just doing my downtime. I'm doing my downtime. I'm considering this my social therapy. Yeah, I mean, I live in downtown. I live in in a loft, right. I live in downtown, and, right before I got here, I was gonna go to my hotel and shit a novel, but I got a little bit constipated. I called it writer's block, and then I didn't write anything for 25 years, so I just had to keep reading the same shit over and over again, and it's easy to explain, though. It was because, I couldn't concentrate. I couldn't concentrate. Yeah, it was because I couldn't get high enough. I couldn't get high enough to concentrate. Yeah, I couldn't get high enough to concentrate. And when I can't concentrate, I can't create. You know what I mean? I can't create. I can't create. I can't create anything that isn't full of hate or pain or drugs or blood or fuck. You know the problem? You are the problem. No, I'm the problem, all right? I'm the fucking problem. Look, hey, if you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem. There is no fucking solution, doy. All right, I'll take full responsibility for my share. All right, I will. Look, all right, it's fucked up. I did it, all right? And it's for one reason. I'm trying to explain this to you. If you just fucking listen to me for 3 minutes. It's really simple. It's because I cannot control myself. I told you, I can't control myself. I can't control it. Believe me, I want to stop it. I want to stop it. I want to stop it. I want you to stop me. You know, I want you to stop me. I'm giving you every fucking ample opportunity. Why can't you fucking stop me, huh? Why can't you fucking do something about it? Can't you fucking do something about it? Why can't you fucking stop me, huh? Why can't you stop me from bitching, from whining, from drinking, from fucking, from drugging, from doping, from sleeping, from smoking, from choking? 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year for the last fucking... Yeah. From now till never, at least I know the pattern. From now till never. You're right. You got it. You're right. It's because it's not that I can't help myself. That's not the problem. It's not that you can't help me. It's that it's a blood disease. It's a blood disease. That's the problem. It's a fucking blood disease. It's in my blood. No wonder I can't help myself. How can I help myself? How can I help myself if you won't help me help myself? Why can't you help me? Why can't you fucking help me? Huh? Why can't you fucking do do something useful. That's it. When the fuck are you gonna do something fucking useful? Like rob a bank, big dick. Like shoot the Pope, John Hinckley. Now that's a man. The president, yeah, good target, easy picking. Could even kill yourself. You could even kill me. Hey, I'm half dead already. Shoot me. Go ahead. The fuck are you picking on me, you fucking stupid bitch? The fuck are you picking on me, huh? The fuck did I do? I'm just sitting here. The fuck did you do? What the fuck am I doing? The fuck have I done for the last 25 years of my life? This is where it ended up? Great, we're doing real good. I pay $3 to hear some fucking bitch on the rag who sounds exactly like my fucking mother. Can you believe it? You sound just like my fucking mother. Sound just like my goddamn mother. I could have stayed home and listened to this shit. I could have stayed home and listened to my girlfriend bitch on the fucking rag, man. Look, if you didn't act so much like a fucking baby's asshole, I wouldn't have to stand up here acting like your goddamn mother. Hey, look. Blow hard. I can do any goddamn thing I want. I can do any goddamn thing I want. Hey, I can do any goddamn thing I want. I can do anything. Only I don't want to. I don't want to, all right? I don't wanna. Look, it's all been done before anyway. It's all been done and done and done and done and done and done to death. Yeah, by me. Look, all right? I mean, look, there's nothing to do. There's no one to do it with. There's no one to go, and once you fucking get there, it's no fun anyway. There's nothing to do, there's nowhere to go, there's no one to go there, and it's no fucking fun, all right? And besides, I can't afford it. Because I spent all my money on drugs, and now I'm too sick. Now I'm too fucking sick. I'm sorry. I mean, I can't come out. I mean, I'm just too fucking sick, you know? I mean, it's like, I'm too sick, man. I mean, like, I'm too sick and tired, you know? I just can't get up. I mean, there's no fucking reason. I just got everything I need. I got the VCR right here. I'm too sick. I'm tired, okay? I'm tired. I'm too tired. I've been working all day, man. Selling dime bags. No, I'm too lazy. I'm too lazy. I'm too spoiled. I'm too rotten. No, Lydia, you're too fucking self-destructive. That's it. You're too fucking self-destructive. How can you get anything done? You're so fucking self-destructive. Yeah, that's right. I'm so fucking self-destructive that I'm fucking being eaten alive. That's it. I'm being eaten alive. I mean, I'm already up here fucking pulling my fucking hair out. I'm spilling my fucking guts all over the place. What the fuck do you want next? You want to see me start puking? Is that it? Puking all over the goddamn place? Is that I'm supposed to start fucking puking for you just because, all right, just because, okay. So I got a belly full of booze, you know, so I got a fucking belly full of booze. I mean, so what, all right? All I need now, if you want to know, I mean, all I need now is, get myself a little taste. To get myself a little taste. I mean, all I need is a fucking little taste, man. All I'm trying to do is get myself a little taste so I can get myself straight. Can't you help me out, man? I am trying to get my shit together. I'm gonna get my shit together. I am gonna get myself straight. I'm telling you, I am gonna get off of this bender. I am gonna get out of the gutter. I am gonna get away from the pusher man. I am gonna get my shit together. Listen to me. It's just a matter of time. It's just a matter of time, baby. You understand what I'm talking about. It's just a fucking matter of time. And I got all the fucking time in the world and 1,000 ways to kill it. Because I'm too fucking chicken shit to kill myself. Yeah. Because it takes fucking guts to kill yourself. It takes guts to kill yourself. And just like a lot of you assholes out there, I already tried. It didn't work. I couldn't go through with it. I mean, I tried to keep that one last date with fate, but I mean, I want somebody else to do it. You know what I mean? I mean, I tried the needle. I tried the noose. I tried the bullet. And I tried the blade, but each fucking time I was too much of a fucking coward to go through with it because, like I already said, it takes fucking guts to kill yourself. It takes guts to kill yourself. And I love men with guts. Yeah, men, they gotta have guts, you know? They gotta be tough, they gotta be strong, they gotta be hard, they gotta fight that good fight, right? Yeah, that's it. Yeah. A man, oh, my kind of man, we're just dreaming, we're fantasizing for 5 minutes, all right? Pretend it's you. My kind of man, he's into random shooting, blood sports, championship wrestling, cockfighting, dog racing, horse racing, gambling, goosing, street fighting, knifing, hustling, lying, stealing, cheating, thieving, deceiving, petty hijinks. Hey, hijacking. Yeah, that's it. My man's into hijacking. Yeah, my man's into kidnapping because that's how he's gonna get me in the first place. Yeah, my man's into kidnapping. Yeah. Hey, yo, I'm looking for a real man, all right? I'm looking for a man that already had done time in the prisons, that done time in the penitentiaries, that did time in the mental institutions, that did time at the military academies where it's legal to murder someone else. You know what I mean? I'm talking about the kind of man, tell me if you fit the bill. Stand right up and take your clothes off. I'm talking about the kind of man that's got tattoos. He's got broken bones. He's got bruises and black eyes. Yeah, he's got scars longer than the Mississippi River running all over his goddamn body. Yeah. He listens to those lousy hillbilly blues in the back of a 57 pickup, born on the outskirts of a pig farm. Died same day he was born. But he promised me when he was whispering in my ear after butt-fucking me like a dog from behind one night last week, he promised me, he said, listen, mama, listen, baby, hey, yo, mama, yo, baby, mama. I swear to God, mama, that next time when I come through this life again, I swear that after doing this downtime kind of shit, trapped in this black ugly skin, trapped in this white ugly skin, trapped in this fucking prison, that I ain't gonna come back and live that same life in that welfare hotel. Yo, mama, listen to me. I'm gonna get out of the crack den. I'm gonna get out of the shooting gallery. I'm gonna get out of the subway doorway where I've been sleeping for the last 365 days. Yeah. I'm gonna stop those subway shootings. Hey, I'm not gonna commit any more of those freeway shootings. All right, baby. All right. Take it easy on me, mama. So I bombed the abortion clinic. So I bombed the art gallery. So I bombed the nursing home. So I bombed the mortuaries. Does that make me a bad man? Does that make me a bad man? Did I kill anybody that didn't want to die, that didn't need to die? Did I kill anybody that didn't need to die? Did I kill anybody that need... Yeah, that's my man. That's my man. My man's into murder, that's it. My man, he's the real hardcore. He's into murder. Yeah. He's into arson. He's into rape, that's it. My man's into rape, that's it, yeah. My man's into rape, yeah. My man's into rape, because a man's gotta do what a man's gotta do. A man's gotta do what a man's gotta do. It's a fucking life sentence. It's a fucking life sentence. It's a fucking man's world, yeah? Yeah. It's a fucking man's world. And I say, if that's the case, fuck the world, baby, I want to get off. Fuck the world, baby, I want to get off. Yeah, fuck it. Because I'm sick of this shit. I'm sick of this shit. I'm sick of being just another lousy casualty with a hairline trigger temper that's gonna explode. Yeah. I'm sick of being a fucking statistic. I'm sick of being a fucking number. I'm sick of being fucking numb. You're 1 in a million, baby. I'm 1 in 4 billion, asshole. I'm a nothing. I'm a nobody. I'm nothing, I'm nobody, and I'm not gonna take it anymore. I'm not gonna fucking take it anymore. I can't fucking take anymore of this. I can't fucking stand it anymore. I can't fucking stand myself or anything fucking else either. I was created
I cannot compete with. I'm confused by religious hallucinations, convulsions of self-destruction, illusions of grandeur. I'm maniacally depressed. I'm terminally fucked up. I'm permanently incoherent. I'm chronically ill. I hate myself and I hate everything else too!
You're so fucking negative.
You're so fucking negative! You're so fucking depressing! I pay $3 lousy bucks to hear some fucking hideous bitch screaming at me about all her pain, all her misery, how fucked up it is. Why do you have to do this to me? Why do you have to do this to me? It's Sunday afternoon. I want to be entertained. I don't want to be depressed. I don't want to hear about it. Why? Why? Why do you have to propagate the cycle of abuse? Why do you have to propagate that cycle of abuse? Why do 1 in 3 victims of incest go on to commit incest and abuse others? Why is the victim always fucking guilty? Why does the patient always have to be the fucking doctor? Why do I always have to live on a dead-end street? Why does this always have to be the fucking boulevard of broken fucking dreams? Why does it always have to be death row before the flick of a switch? Why does it always have to be the fucking books of blood, the blood of dreams? Why does it have to be a blood disease? Why does it have to be a fucking blood disease? Why does it have to be in my blood? It's in my fucking blood. It's in my fucking blood. It's a nightmare, and this is it.
And I think we have a small problem here. And as a matter of fact, I know that there's going to be trouble. It seems to me that for over 2,000 years now, madmen, maniacs, and would-be messiahs have been pilfering, have been pillaging, have been plundering, and have been raping the entire planet. And the way that I see it is that Mother Nature is getting pretty pissed off. Earthquakes, tornadoes, hurricanes, mudslides, forest fires, global warming, ozone depletion, cholera, cancer, AIDS, tuberculosis, drought, famines, floods. Nature is becoming more violent against the men who have been causing her violence. You know, maybe she's just trying to tell us something. Like you reap what you fucking sow. Like you get what you deserve. Or maybe it's just nature's way of population control. Or maybe it's just simply good old revenge. And revenge is a full-time occupation. It's a big job. And Mother Nature can't be expected to do it alone. She needs your help. So, ladies, and like-minded others, it's time to seek revenge. It's time to seek revenge, all right. Oh, yes, it is. Yeah.
It's time to speak to them, the rapists, in their own language. In the only language that they seem to understand. A language based on fear, power, and greed. To beat them at their own games. To maybe give them something to be afraid of. Like to maybe make them afraid to sleep with the lights out. Like maybe make them afraid to leave their house after dark. Maybe to give them reason to panic. So that they know how you feel every single minute of your goddamn life. Yeah. Maybe instill in them the fear. The fear of bankruptcy, homelessness, poverty, and the plague. Maybe make them feel that this just might be Judgment Day. It just might be time for retribution. Oh yeah, it's Judgment Day, all right, and the jury's in. And they're all fucking guilty. They're all guilty of crimes against reason, of crimes against nature, and of crimes against humanity. So just for 5 minutes, control yourself. Forget about the war in the Middle East, in the Far East, and in Eastern Europe. And let's put a little perspective on the real issue, on the bottom line. Because the way I see it, oh yeah, it's war, all right. It's wartime, yeah. Civil war. And the enemy, he's out there. Oh, he's out there. He's right in your own fucking backyard. He's stalking your every fucking movement. He's ready to strike out at your first sign of weakness. So, it's time to learn a little self-defense. To be on your guard. It's time to learn how to focus, how to aim, and how to fire at the real enemy and take no prisoners. Take no prisoners, yeah. Take no fucking prisoners because we're all prisoners, trapped like animals in a zoo. Oh yeah, 1992. Right. And what that means to me is police brutality, sexual harassment, race baiting, civil rights violations, lack of public housing, homelessness, the bombing of abortion clinics, censorship, Rubbergate, inner city slavery, fostered by the government's blatant drug dealing and the plague. What pisses me off is that there are 248 million people in this country, and not one of them, not one, has got the balls to do anything about it. Think about it. Yugoslavia, Czechoslovakia, Hungary, Russia, Poland, Turkey. Those people weren't afraid to fight. They weren't afraid to fight the fucking power, baby. They knew that you had to fight to fucking win, that you had to shoot to kill. Yeah, that's right. Let's look at it this way, baby, okay? Just so you understand, pacifists. When it's time to kill or be killed, I know what end of the fucking barrel I'm going to be staring down. The Black Panthers. The Chicago 7. The SLA. The Weathermen. Kent State. the Attica uprisings, the civil rights riots of 1916, 1917, 1943, 1964 through 67. You know, violence, it's always been a part of the American political process. The politics of protest have always been an inherent part of any reform movement. And violence has settled every single historical issue so far. The abolishment of slavery, labor movement, women's suffrage, the right to vote. It seems to me that violence, it's the only resistance against tyranny and against oppression. It's the only way to assure due process against arbitrary injustice. It's the only way to ensure freedom, autonomy. That's why Cow says it's not time to stop the violence. It's not time to stop the violence. It's time to redirect, focus, aim, and fire. Yeah, at the real enemy. I mean, after all, it is our constitutional right to fight for our rights. To take back what was rightfully ours in the first place. Our bodies, our soul, our minds, and the earth, which have all been battered, which have all been bruised, which have all been raped, but not beyond repair. To take back and to take over, to take back and to take over before it's too late. Because it is already too late. It's too fucking late, baby. Oh yeah, it's gotta be the end. I mean, it's gotta be the beginning of the end. I mean, how much fucking nearer do we have to come before it's the end? I mean, it's gotta be the fucking end, all right? It's gotta be the end. Mass murder. Yeah. When do you start? Serial killing, a little bit easier for you. Rape, you're all guilty. Arson, residential burglaries, all on the upswing. Yet legitimate, violent, political protest is in decline. Why? And, you know, don't go and throw any of that South Central bullshit in my face either, because it was a great concept, but it was poorly executed. I mean, they should have just burned Hollywood, burned Beverly Hills, burned the banks, and not shat in their own fucking backyards. How'd you guess? And you know, you have a right to feel pretty fucked up, pretty fed up. I know you're frustrated, baby, you can't help it. Agitated. Ready to maybe explode. And you know what? That certainly beats fucking apathy. But again, once again, blunder. Blunder after blunder. Petty act of violence, mistargeted, miscalculated. Go out and get drunk and fuck somebody else up. Why don't you think about it? Focus. Aim. Fire. And not at each other. Because the celebration of black on black, or black on white, or white on white violence in the urban ghetto is not what terrifies me. What scares me is the fact that these people have all been impregnated with fear and paranoia as the slave traders institutionalized them into cement bunkers, tower blocks, and prison cells to lead and live out a life sentence which offers nothing but anger, desperation, and hatred. And that shit comes back to you, the white middle class. You know, it doesn't take a college education, and I can assure you a lot of fucking good that's going to do all of you after you get out from being buried beneath this complete conspiracy of mediocrity, incompetence, and ignorance. To just think about it. Just think about it. If you've got half a brain left, just think about it. Just imagine, and it doesn't take much fucking imagination to imagine just how powerful we, as the people, could be if we decided for once to focus all of our rage and all of our retribution against the real adversary, the rip-off artist who run this fucking republic of thieves, liars, idiots, cheats. These motherfuckers. The frauds. The father of our country. Oh, yeah, I mean, it is 1992, right, baby? And you have come a long way. Oh, you've come a long way, all right. And look where you are. Right back to where you started from. Being terrorized by animals and cavemen who could give a shit less about the rampant inequality that runs and ruins 98% of the countries on the face of this planet. And you know, if in 1992 it is going to be down to us versus them, then I suggest you all be ready to buck up, batten down the hatches, rally the troops, dig the trenches, and prepare for battle. And after all, what is the fucking worst thing they could do to you? Kill you or incarcerate you. And what's the fucking difference? Because by now, we're all already half dead from the dumbing numbness that they've locked us into inside what they call the 20th century. This life and death sentence. Oh yeah, the American way of life, death. The way I see it, if I go to jail, hey, at least I'll never have to be lonely again, not with a million other goddamn prisoners in there with me. This country has more prisoners than anywhere else in the world. As a matter of fact, and I'm probably going to talk about a few of you here tonight, 24% of those arrested have been on petty drug charges. Bullshit. 1 in 4 black men under the age of 25 is going to be incarcerated, half of them, for crimes that they did not commit. If you think about it, every time unemployment goes up, so does the prison population. People have got to eat, and unfortunately, they got to pay the fucking rent. $60 billion. $60 billion is what the U.S. justice system is awarded every single year. And not 1% of that, not one fucking percent goes to rehabilitation, reform, or education. Somebody's got to be making out like a fucking bandit in there. You should know you have more prisoners on death row than any other fucking state in the union. Somebody's got to be making out like a fucking bandit, and it ain't the prisoners. They're not profiting. Not from a reform system that does not work. And you know, why bother? Why bother to reform them anyway? There's not going to be any jobs when they come out, especially not for an ex-fucking-con that tried in vain to buck the system that fucked him in the first place. And besides, all prison teaches you is how to be a better criminal. Anyone in lockdown today has a fat chance of coming out unscathed from a penal system which exists merely as a microcosm of our own fascist Nazi regime, which, just like the Nazis, locks the destitute and the desperate inside concentration camps, and then they charge you to torture them. You know, there's little difference between Auschwitz and Alcatraz and Angola and Rikers and Sing Sing and Soledad. They all have one thing in common, and that's to suck the soul out of a desperate human being and reduce them to living like rats, trapped, raped, and killed in cages. The biggest problem with federal prison today is that the wrong goddamn people are in there. The people that had no other choice. The people that were left with no other choice other than to strike back, attack, crush, kill, and destroy the American dream as it dangled right in front of them, perpetually just out of reach. While the real criminals, the career criminals, like the Kennedys, the Bushes, Reagan, North, Gates, the FBI, the CIA, the moral majority, and the fucking cops that run this country, all armed and extremely dangerous, are given free rein to continue their money laundering scams, their drug and arms ammunition sales. Doesn't make sense. Somebody's gonna have to start paying for it. Somebody's gonna have to start to fucking pay. I say, let's get the cons out of the White House and put them into the big house where they fucking belong and give them all a taste of their own medicine. We can give them the here, the now, the cow justice system. Capital punishment for petty crimes. I don't think jail is good enough. I think what we need to do is we need to improve the quality of punishment as a proper deterrent, because we've already figured out that jail doesn't work. And then we can use the rest of the money for real reform, real rehabilitation, and real education. So, in order to prevent crime and to re-empower the individuals who have been victims of violent crime, let's manifest the crime back onto the visible body of the criminal twofold. You know, the old eye for an eye times 2. Punishment rendered for crimes committed. Think about it. Sexual battery, breaking and entering, rape, homicide, the wheel, the scaffold, quartering, amputation, castration, and the firing squad. Let the punishment fit the crime, and all in full view of the paying public. Far more economical than incarceration. And we could start right in New York City. We can turn Battery Park into Assault and Battery Park. We could charge $10 at the gate. We could put a bounty on the ass of the suspected repeat offenders with all the proceeds going to initiate neighborhood crime watches. We could bring back public execution. It has worked. Historically, it has worked. And why bother locking someone up on death row for $70,000 a year for 10 or 20 years when we can make money in the meantime? Think about it. The French Revolution, the Roman arenas. We've got the facilities, let's use them. Yankee Stadium, Dodger Stadium, the Astrodome, the Superdome, Wrigley's Field. Let the punishment begin, and those about to die salute you. I mean, besides, bottom line. So control yourself for 2 more minutes. Bottom line. If we waited for the overfed, underpaid, overworked police force to do anything about it, then you might as well fucking forget it, because they are the biggest crooks of all. Oh yeah, baby, fuck the police. Use their own assaultive weapons. They've already proven their complete and total incompetence in the face of real adversary, real uprising, by recently paying more attention to prostitution, minor violations, marijuana trafficking, traffic violations, and their favorite of all, domestic squabbles. Because it makes that much easier for them to not get their hands dirty, to turn a blind eye, and to turn a greased palm to the hardcore cons who continue to pollute our urban cities with a corruption which reaches down and rots the very roots of the human condition. 1992 has turned men into monsters, into misers, who are masterminding our complete and total disintegration, all the while taking great delight in the perpetual perpetuation of the fear and panic which plagues and destroys the very quality of our day-to-day existence. And this is the shit that's got to stop. This is the shit that's got to fucking stop. Something's got to be done about it. Something has got to be done about the cop that's running our country, because cops love to play God, because God was the first cop, and I hate fucking cops, and God is dead, and something has got to change. Something has got to fucking change, and you better believe it. Oh, I'm going to vote this year. I'm going to vote all right with a fucking bullet. Take it from there.
I just got back from Los Angeles, home of Henry Rollins, NWA, movie stars, Hollywood. And I went out there looking for some kind of a permanent vacation. It only lasted about 7 days. But while I was out there, like the same thing I do when I come to any town, this town included, I go out there with one reason in mind, and that's to try to suck up on the natural resources. You know, I'm kind of a talent coordinator. So being in Hollywood and all, I thought I would do like the decadent Hollywood trip that I heard so much about. You know, everyone acts like they're a movie star or a rock star, and everyone drives limousines, so I got into a limousine, and I did the Hollywood trip. That's like the champagne enemas and the coke, and I had my own video cam scam artist in the back of the limousine because, everyone in Hollywood's making their own movies, and, I kind of make movies too. As a matter of fact, I think the last time my film was here, a bunch of male and female so-called feminists tried to destroy my film Fingered, but they got the wrong film, haha. I've also been bottled in the head here. It didn't work. Next time, try a 6-pack. So I'm in the limousine with the champagne enemas and the cocaine and the video scam cam artist documenting my every movement. And, I like to pose. I'm trying to adopt always the right pose. And we're driving up to Sunset Boulevard up to the Hollywood Hills because if you're in Hollywood, well, you've got to stay in a condominium. And if you stay in a condominium, of course, it's got to have the jacuzzi and the sauna and the hot tub and the swimming pool. And I'm all for that, why not? The only problem I had with Los Angeles, and if any of you had the misfortune of ever going there, and I highly recommend that you don't go there, everyone sort of is doing the post-glam, Guns N' Roses kind of poser, bikey routine, which I'm not too fond of. I like my bikers to have bikes, not brand new Harleys that they bought on their daddy's credit card. So since the scene out there was kind of weak, I felt kind of necessary, since I was out there to vacate and have fun and make a little money on top of that, I decided to call in my own reinforcements to sort of bring in my army, kind of like the clan, the family, So suddenly I find myself surrounded by this clan of what I would term divine horsemen. I used to be in a couple of bands, right? But now it seems like the bands are into me. I'm no longer in bands, but the bands are into me. As a matter of fact, I'm in the hot tub, and the band is inside me, inside the hot tub. And I'm surrounded by like two beautiful blonde-haired, long, kind of New York City style, hot, white tattooed cock rockers, and like two hot Italian, really macho stallions, long dark hair, black eyes. I'm in fucking heaven. We're in the hot tub. And we're doing the right thing. We're doing what comes naturally. You see, I always do the right thing. I know I'm doing the right thing. I always do the right thing because I always do exactly what the fuck I want to do, to whoever I want to do it to, wherever I want to do it, any time of the day, night, season. It don't matter what it means. I do it right. I do it good. I like to do it, and I admit that I like to do it, and that's where most people and I are different because they try to pretend they don't do it, but they like to talk about me doing it. So instead, I'm going to talk about me doing it and tell you how it's actually done, and not only how it's done, but why it's done, because everything I do has a reason, a purpose, a motive, a motto, a mantra. So I'm kind of on the Love Boat cruise, surrounded by the two blondes, the two brunettes, and okay, face it, I only want to hang down with the big, hard guys, the guys with cocks the size of my forearms, tattoos all over their arms, and they're there for one reason. They're there to drink in the wine of my youth. To just give some good head. Yeah, because if you can't give good head, you can't do anything, baby, so you better practice up tonight before you come to my hotel room, you know what I'm saying? So we're doing the right thing. We're doing the right thing. That means they're just drinking me in so that I can fall back, so I can free fall into some kind of timeless wonderland, back beyond the Vikings, beyond the cavemen, from the first original sin. That's where I want to go back to. That's what I'm going back to. We're kind of in a daisy chain for Satan. Yeah. But I got a job in all this. I got a meaning, I got a reason, I got a purpose, I got a goal, and that's one thing, and that's the same thing I was put here on this earth for, and that's to turn pressure into pleasure. Yeah. To turn my pressure into pleasure. To turn tension into pleasure. To release people from their life sentence, to release them from the oppressors, from the repressors. And I just want to wash over them like a sea of tranquility, like a sea of love, like an oasis in a sandstorm of shit, like an earthquake, like a tornado, like a monsoon. And night after night, 7 days and 7 nights, when they came to me, those baby boys, and then eventually even the baby girls, they came to me for one reason. They came to me to find that one special something that they couldn't get at home. Yeah, that one special thing that they couldn't get at home. Because I never want to go home. They didn't want to go home because they know that home is where the the hard bitches are. Home is where the hard cocks are. Home is where they don't understand about the scarification rituals, about the bonds that tie like no others, the bonds that are tied with cum and blood. And they'd circle around me like a tribe, a clan, a family, like the kings of men, like the gods of men, like the kings of sex. And I'd be doing what I do best. I'd be coddling them. I'd be cuddling them. I'd be fondling them. I'd be sucking them. I'd be fucking them. Hey, I am proud. I'm not proud. I'm not jealous. I'm not hung up. I'm not inhibited. I'm just doing the right thing. I'm just offering them that sexual healing because that's what it's all about. Yeah, sexual healing. And they're rushing on me like some kind of fragrant dream powered by fiery tongues, the tongues of fire, my tongue. Yeah. And I'm going to get it while the getting's good. I'm going to get it while it's good and hard. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. Because when I get back to fucking New York City and I'm sucking sewage again and I can't get fucked to save my life because I get fucked, it might cost me my life and I'm not ready to die for my sex life yet. Although if it happens, I mean, what the fuck? In New York City, you see, the problem there is that all the pleasure palaces have been turned into torture chambers because it's a necropolis. And night after night, you're just rocked to sleep with the reek of stench and disease and pollution and desperation and loneliness and ugliness in the killing zone of false memory. And there's only one thing I hate worse than rumors, and that's false memory. So that's why I want to get it straight and tell you like it is, tell you how it is, and do it tonight. And we can all clear it up and get the fuck out. Yeah. This little performance piece that I'm doing is kind of based around the misfortunes of desire, of which I'm chronically plagued with. The misfortunes of desire, acted out usually in an imaginary landscape, an imaginary location, where all around me illusions of shameless abundance degenerate into an unnecessary series of hostile events. And I'm kind of sick of hostile events. And that's why I founded the Conspiracy of Women. Founding mother of the Conspiracy of Women. Cow, for short. By now you must know that I'm Lydia Lunch, and you know a few things about me, like my language is not silence. My song is the scream. Terror dwells in the shadow of my wings. My hope is my first battle and my last gasp. I am the knife with which the dead crack open the casket. I've kind of been developing a 13-step program involved with the Conspiracy of Women. Now, we realize that we don't have all the answers, but we know that we have every question. And the first question I'd like to begin this evening's seminar with is, why is it that the same assholes who invented torture and kidnapping and concentration camps and pollution and child abuse and nuclear bombs and atomic war now want to eliminate in the United States of America my right to a free and legal abortion? Yeah, I'll address this one to you. Who the hell are you? Who the hell do you think you are? Who the hell do you think you are? And how the hell dare you, because you're going to act just like them, try to tell me what I can or cannot do with my own mouth, my own mind, or my own body? Yeah, he can't tell me either, and he can't do it for me. He can't do it to me unless I want him to. Because there's one thing I know how to say, and I'm going to say it right to you. Don't get sassy, asshole. If you want to talk to me, come to my face. Because I'll quote them. I'll quote you. I'll use your own terms. That's right. I'll reduce it to your own terms so you can understand it. Just say no. Just say no. No, I'm not going to take it. So don't even sit back there and think I'm going to. I'm not going to take it lying down. I'm not going to take it standing up. And I'm not going to stand for it. Yeah, easy as that. I'm not going to stand or be forced into the life of my mother just because everyone else wants to act like the eternal father, the eternal fucker. If you want to go back in history and you want to get a little bit of an education here, we can go back to the first recorded episode of child abuse. No, I wasn't the first one. We can go back to the first recorded episode of child abuse, who is our hero, that idiot, Jesus. The man that was fucked up and fucked over and held up as some kind of religious icon who was meant to be worshipped because it was pounded into him from day one with every fucking nail that went into his fingers, his toes, his arms, his belly, his chest. The only way to heaven is through divine punishment. The only way to heaven is through divine punishment. And I say, fuck that. I am not familiar with the geography of heaven. And I refuse to be punished for the sins of my mother, of my father, of my brother, of my lover, of some asshole. I refuse. If there's any punishing to do around here, and if you think you need some punishing and you keep your mouth going and you're going to get some, you can come right up here and I'll gladly dish it out. No problems. No questions asked. No two ways about it. No problem. Yeah, I know, I heard it all before. Oh, Jesus died for somebody's sins, but not mine. Hey, not mine, baby, and not his either. Not his either, but for somebody else's. For somebody else's. And I refuse to be punished for the sins or the ignorance or the mistakes of somebody else. So don't get me going. Don't do that. Don't do that, because it only irritates me. It doesn't help me. It doesn't make me feel good. When you put your hands together, put them down here and think about me good, strong, and hard. Yes, yes, yes. And speaking about death, which this country was founded on, my father died 2 days ago of a cerebral brain stroke, which kind of worries me because I'm chronically plagued with migraines. And although he lived to be 57 and I don't expect to do the same, it was a little bit weird. Not that he died, but the fact that now that he's dead and cremated, my mother has enshrined his ashes on the Sears and Roebuck mantelpiece above the fake fireplace next to the chairs with the plastic covered on them. And they pray to him now every day and night. You know, she told me she had to confess to me. I had to call her on the phone from Hamburg, and she had to tell me, 34 years is a long time to be married to somebody. I said, yeah, to anybody. And old habits, well, they're just hard to break. I mean, bad habits are hard to break. And he had every fucking bad habit in the book. Because if it wasn't the Jack Daniels or the coffee or the cigarettes or the beer or the horse racing or the dog racing, it was the way he would pinch me and every other woman that ever had the misfortune of walking into the same room that he stood in. Because with him, just like with me, and just like with half of you, sex was a disease that only death could cure. But where I want to draw the line between me and him is that I want to make sure that all my excuses don't go on until my grave. That I don't keep blaming him now that he's dead for my problems. Now that he's gone, maybe so are my problems too. But I realize one thing too, for everyone here that hates their mother, their father, their brother, their sister, and everyone else, hey, the victimizer had to first be the victim. And that's how the series and the cycle of abuse gets carried on. So you don't have to procreate. You don't have to birth more children just because they're paying you to in this country. You don't have to carry on the cycle of abuse. And you don't have to wait for daddy to die to get over it. And that's why I'm up here, is to try to get over my problems and to try to take a few of you with me so that maybe we can all get over it. Or we can all get over on it. Or we can all get over. Or we can all get out of here soon. I don't know, whatever you want. I can't tell. I don't know. I know that birth is a disease that only death will cure. I know that from our birth, we were all in on this together. No matter how different we are, we all share one of the same afflictions, and that's that we're all enslaved. That's that we're all enslaved. Enslaved in a vast warehouse of mentally ill people. Locked up
and bottled tight, detonating the palace of false hope, trapped in a tissue of lies and illogic, where every sound uttered, and be warned of this, where every sound uttered, where every sound uttered, where every sound uttered contains the longing for crime, the longing for crime, the longing for crimes against nature, crimes against reason. And I pray out, oh earth, planet of birth and death, please release me from this psychological lockjaw where, yes, youth, forget about it. It's just the mortgage time of a life gone past. It's just the mortgage time of a life gone past. And I know that we're all waiting on the liberation of relief. We're all waiting on relief from this human rat race, from this fucking rat race. We're all just waiting. Because we're all exiled from truth, because we've been force-fed so many goddamn lies that we started to not only believe the lies, but we started to propagate the lies. That we're exiled from truth like a million other pompous corpses gathered together in an empty existence, where multitudes of prisoners invade the city centers, just like here, just like now. Just like Warren and Sullen zombies. Just like Warren and Sullen zombies. Just like fucking zombies, because we all live in cemeteries. Because we're living in a living cemetery. Peopled with bloated caravans, full of the decrepit, the desperate, the lonely, the morally and spiritually, but never in this country or mine, financially bankrupt. And just like you too, I was born and I remain lonely. 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 And the lonely wait for death behind the thin and fading walls. But remember, they finally released the last remaining prisoners of the Nazi invasion. Maybe they finally recognized that the enemy is only a figment of their overactive imaginations. Maybe they finally recognized the proper enemy. Remember, when you do recognize the enemy, always keep them in sight. Don't shoot till you see the whites of their eyes. Never shoot before you see the whites of their eyes. And you know what? I'm all with them because I love, I enjoy, I need to act like an acrobat in the dark, mutilating corpses. I don't give a shit how many more fucking useless Marines are turned into man-made meat patties and left to roast in holy hell. Hey, I'll quote your country on this one. I'll say, ladies and gentlemen, it's this way to the gas chambers because the theater of the white man's revolution is just about over. That's right. Yeah, remember, one death, like my own, would surely be a tragedy. But 1 million deaths is only a statistic. Yeah. So, ladies, I'm going to address you on this front. I'm going to say that you all want to rise up. You all need to rise up. You all want to get ahead in business. You all want to gain more power. You all want to gain more control. So there's only one thing you can do. Annie, Betty, Susie, Manilow, Gudrun, Beata, get your fucking gun, ladies. Just get your gun. Just get your goddamn gun. Get it now, get it good, get it big, and get it hard, because there's a rumor going on. And I hate rumors. There's a rumor going on that the war has just begun. That the war has just begun. That the war is never over. That the war is never ending. That the war is just an orgy, and I love orgies. That the war is just an orgy of drunken hooligans who, in order to pump up that last fading trickle of their waning sexuality, have got to pick up bombs, have got to pick up bricks, have got to pick up bullets so that they can better penetrate the flesh of my enemy, the flesh of my flesh, the breath of my breath, the breast of my breast. Oh, yes. Oh, just like the song goes, just like that top 10 hit classic from the 70s. Oh, yes, embrace it. This is the end. Oh, you could sing along. This is the end, beautiful friend, the end. No laughter, no surprise. This is the end of the white man's revolution. This is the end of the hypocrisy of the Republic of Democracy. This is the end of communism, Marxism, Stalinism, fascism. Hey, humanism ended a long time ago.
So in order to rise up, there's only one ground left to cover, and that's capitalism. So we're already there now. We're there here today. Be with me now, yeah. Because I'm sick of fucking groveling, you know? I'm sick of groveling on my fucking belly. I'm sick of groveling in this puny and pathetic landscape where I wander city to city, country to country, continent to continent, and every day when I wake up, I'm still plagued with the same question: why? Why? Why was I born an American? And not what would better suit me, if you're looking really good, a Palestinian, Pakistani, Syrian, Lebanese, Turkish, Filipino, Japanese, Chinese, Puerto Rican, Afro-Cuban American, or even better yet, my favorite of all, a Colombian, yeah. Why wasn't I born a Colombian? A Colombian with big balls, yeah, and maybe a quarter kilo of coke, yeah. Because then I could better understand the need to pilfer, to pillage, to plunder, to rape like wild Indians, high up in those mountains, yeah. Immaculate camouflage, creases down the front, cap, bayonet, submachine gun on tripod, little square prayer rug. That every hour on the hour I would get down, and I'd get down on my hands and knees, and I would pray to the gods of war, yeah. I'd pray to the gods of war. I'd pray to the gods that gave me war, the gods that gave me something to do, somewhere to go on the weekend, something to live and die for, because that's all what we're missing here tonight, and that's why we're here tonight, is because we're looking for something to live and to die for. I just haven't found it yet, you know. And man, because men love to play God, and like I told you the last time I was here, you know how I feel about God. I hate God. I hate God. I hate God because God was the first cop. God was the first cock. God was the first big-dicked, low-down, good-for-nothing motherfucker that subjected me to this life sentence in the first place, where I've been trying to escape for the last 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 years of my rotten, stinking life. But I know there is no escape. But that doesn't stop man. That doesn't stop man from playing God. That doesn't stop man from playing God. And God, he had all the fun because God, he could penalize. He could punish. He could destroy. He could mutilate. He could eliminate, annihilate. He could destroy the world. And man, just like the dinosaur with which he has so much in common, will also become extinct. Because all of man's useless, stupid, warmongering, greedy, bloodlusty, corrupt ideas are also now extinct. Oh, I pity the fools. I pity those poor, reckless fanatics lost in that time without limits, that limbo, that world without end. But night after night, I'm still praying. I'm still praying for them. Night after night, I'm still on my hands and knees, and I'm still praying. And when I'm down there, I pray and pray and pray for one thing. Boys. Boys. I pray for boys that don't know any better, that don't know any different. I pray for boys that don't know any better than getting those 18 bullet holes blown in their bellies when they travel in those squads of 15 to 20-year-olds whose only job that I can respect is to execute the executioners, is to kill the killers, is to eliminate the judges, the juries, the cops, the chiefs, the kings. Hey, baby, the king is dead, long live the queen. The king is dead, long live the queen. And night after night when I'm down there, and night after night I'm just praying for a new sinister nuisance which becomes my national obsession. Night after night I'm praying for another night of death on Blood Boulevard. Oh, yes. I want to take them all with me. I want to embrace them all in the fold, in the family, in the clan, in the tribe, my men. I want to say, oh, Manuel, oh, Ronnie, oh, Ollie, oh, George, oh, Margaret, you can come too. Come with me, baby. Come with me and be here with me now. I want to take you on a small trip. A little mini vacation, a permanent vacation. Why don't you come with me right now? We could go there. It's easy. You just hop on that helicopter and you get down there and you go to Bogota. You go to Bolivia. You go to Nicaragua. You go to Sandinista. You go to San Salvador, Beirut, Beijing, Brooklyn, Brighton, Belfast. You go where they know that the price they put on human life is death. The price they put on human life is death. And all the wailing in the world that I'm going to do ain't going to save your ass, it ain't going to save my ass, and it ain't going to shut me up either. That's right. I know, I recognize, and I'm ready every minute. I know that the cost of living is hand-to-hand combat, fought tooth and nail. Hey, it's a mantra. Repeat after me. Life is cheap, but death is free. Life is cheap, but death is freedom. Oh, baptismal in blood, baptismal in blood, baptismal in blood. Oh, death wears the proof of a crown from the kings. I am free. I recognized a long time ago that the horizon has finally disappeared. It's been replaced with leper colonies. The illusion of freedom is finally gone. That's right. Slavery is freedom. Embrace it. Slavery is freedom. Slavery is freedom. War is peace. War is peace. But peace, it's just not profitable. So, ladies, I'm going to appeal to you one more time because I know you want to rise up in business. I know you want to get your thing. I know you want to readdress the imbalance of power. So, ladies, get your goddamn gun. Just get your fucking gun. Get your Uzi. Get your AK. Get your 9mm. Get your small pistol, your handgun, your 45, your 33. Just get your goddamn gun because there's a rumor going on, you see, that the war has just begun. That the war is never over, that the war is never ending, and you must know that better than me, that the war is just an orgy of drunken hooligans who in order to pump up that last fading trickle of their waning sexuality, they gotta pick up those bombs, they gotta pick up those bricks, they gotta pick up those bullets so that they can better penetrate the flesh of my flesh, the breast of my breast, the breath of my breath. I mean, if you want to get down to brass tacks and you want to know all about it and you just want to understand it, then you'll know the death of another living being, just doesn't mean anything to me. I mean, it just doesn't mean anything to me. I mean, it just doesn't mean anything to men because men are the ones in war. The death of another living being doesn't mean anything to men because men are so fucking afraid to die that they have to kill everything in sight. Yeah, men are so afraid to die that they have to kill everything in sight. Because if you can't beat them, kill them. If you can't kill them, fuck them. If you can't fuck them, kill them. If you can't do it good, do it hard. Yeah, I love myself too. Part of the philosophy in the Conspiracy of Women in our 13-step program, which we're just touching on lightly tonight, because when I'm doing the real seminar, it will be women only, and then I'll do the one for men only, you know, the sexual healing bullshit. Part of the philosophy, without dogma, because in the Conspiracy of Women, there is no higher force other than yourself. There is no greater enigma to give up to. Part of the philosophy is if men bled every month as much as I bleed every month, some of their bloodlust would be eliminated. You know? They might know what real war was all about. I'm not talking about the monthly cramping, the insatiability, the hunger, the bloating, or the blood. That's the good part. I love the mood swings. It's the only time I'm really, truly emotional. That's not the problem. I think that if men wanted to know what real hell was, they would also get dosed with, and if this sounds like a list of my children's name in Greek, it could almost be real, chlamydia, condyloma, vaginosis, vaginitis, trichinosis, endometriosis, dysplasia, tubal ligation, genital warts, herpes, syphilis, gonorrhea, or my favorite, which I know personally I've infected half of you with here tonight, non-specific urinary tract infection. Very ugly. Now, I'm not going to take on some kind of attitude or trip and say, well, you know, you could easily prevent it. Just go to the washroom, pay $1, put a condom on, strangle his dick. It'll get soft in no time. Don't worry about it. I don't think the problem lies in social or sexual responsibility or prevention. To me, what bugs me is that they don't want to cure any sexually or socially transmitted diseases. They don't want to cure it because then, ladies, every time you go to the gynecologist, he puts a rubber glove on, he sticks it in your crotch, he twiddles it around, he smells it, and he charges you $75 for not even getting you off. Not to mention $200 for the antibiotics. They don't want to cure you. They'd lose their business. They don't want to cure you. They want you to infect others. Because if you left it up to them, the tax they put on breathing would be called cancer. And they want you to have cancer, I can assure you of that. They want you to especially have feminine cancer so that they can keep you down, pound you down, put you in pain, make you weak, make you sick, make you feel guilty and like shit, and to wish you were dead. They've made sure now, though, if it's not only sex that gives you cancer, that everything gives you cancer, that breathing gives you cancer, that eating gives you cancer, that meat gives you cancer, water, vegetables, TV screens, video monitors, computer games, computers, satellite discs, which they import contagions from outer space to infect you with diseases that don't even have any names yet. They want you to have cancer. They want you to be sick. They want you to be weak, they want you to be desperate, and they want you to be fucked up and guilty because they want to control you. It's very easy. And now that they've ultimately controlled you by instilling you with fear of a sexual disease, because we know that if it isn't the disease that's going to fuck you up and kill you, it's the fear of the disease. Because they want you to be afraid. They want you to be very afraid. They want you to be terrified. They want you to be so fucking terrified that you become neurotic. And once you're neurotic, you get anxiety attacks. And once you have anxiety attacks, then you turn to alcohol addiction and drug dependency. And once you're an alcoholic or a drug addict, you have to go to Narcotics Anonymous or Alcoholics Anonymous or Sex and Loving Addiction Anonymous or Sexaholics or Women Who Love Too Much or my personal foundation, Women Who Hate Too Much. Now, when all those programs have failed you, you will, of course, eventually end up in the hospital. And when you get to the hospital, they're just going to stand there in their white pristine uniforms and their little flat shoes and their baggy stockings and their little hat, and they're just going to give you big attitude and look at you like you stink. Like, I knew you would get something. What did you think acting like that? That you wouldn't get something? That you were immune to this? You thought you wouldn't get it. Did you know that every single person you have slept with, you have also slept with everyone that they've slept with? I wish I had slept with everyone they slept with. Then maybe I would be happy here tonight. Maybe I wouldn't have an attitude problem. I didn't expect that I would go to the hospital in order to just be treated like some kind of leper, like some kind of human guinea pig, like some kind of lab rat, like some kind of monkey drunk on poisoned blood who can no longer control his drooling, who can no longer control his motor functions, who has no control over his mind, his body, his soul, his blood. They don't want you to have control. They want to control you, and that's why they use fear. It's very simple. They use it for everything. They use it as the ultimate control. So ladies, next time you're lonely, or desperate, or horny, or hungry, or hurting, or wanting, or desperate. You know this hole you got inside here, which like starts here and goes like all the way up to here, and it feels like it could never be filled, that endless void that I love to embrace. That's my advice. Embrace the void. Fill up the void, not with sewage, not with garbage, not with food, not with drugs, not with useless sex from useless men, but with yourself. With your own power, with your own heat, with your own energy, with your own light, with your own love. Oh yes, sisters are doing it for themselves. And boy, once you learn how to do that, you won't need anything useless anymore. You'll be able to just eliminate that shit, go on, grow up, get full, and not of shit. Thank you, sister. Okay, guys, I'm off your dick now. I'm not going to, pound your cock any further down than it already is, halfway up your crack. Don't worry, this one's for you. You know, my problems that I have with men, it's not personal, because I don't have personal problems with men. They're all social problems, and they're all based in the abuse of power from the higher echelons of the social strata. It's not on a one-to-one basis, because I don't deal with dickheads mostly. I know how to root them out. But that's now. And now I want to give a little history about maybe how I learned to get to where I am today, standing in front of a few hundred people. I don't know, don't ask me. You know, I'm mature now. I'm an adult. I'm not a little teeny bop cycle slut anymore. I'm understanding. I'm loving. I'm forgiving. I'm even sometimes forgetful. And to some of you guys out here who have been personally involved with me in the past, this is a little story for you. Some of the worst men I ever knew, some of the best fucks I ever had. I'd like to say, oh, Johnny. Johnny, come back, baby. Come back, Johnny. Oh, Johnny, come back, baby. I want to tell you everything I learned in the last 10 years. I want to try to teach you some of the things that I taught myself. I want to help you to understand me like I now understand you. I want to help you to understand me because I'm a very understanding, loving, adult, mature, wonderful, forgiving, forgetting woman. Oh, yes, baby, I am. I'm different now, you see. I mean, remember that time? I mean, if you want to go back a little ways, remember that time that you took my cat and you, skydived it out the 5th floor story of that tenement on the Lower East Side and it went splat like a hamburger on the sidewalk? Forget about it, baby. Don't worry about it. When you took my 2 pet rabbits and you skinned them and you ate them and cooked them up for Thanksgiving dinner and you served it to my band and you gave the skins to the drummer who a year later told me they were my little furry pets. Don't worry about it, baby. I know that rabbit tastes good even when it is my little favorite bunny. Don't worry. Don't worry. Remember that time, baby, that you took my 32 exotic lizards that I'd paid $932 for and you let them all out of the cage and in your neo-Nazi get-up with the nightstick and the sunglasses, you goose-stepped all over them, accidentally, of course. Don't worry about it. I forgive you, baby. I forgive you. Remember that time that you took my 7-foot-long, 82-pound Burmese python that was imported from Asia somewhere and you wrapped it around your holster and you hitchhiked down to Florida and you started holding up those saving and loans banks? Nickel and diamond, just chump change. You know, you gotta get that little taste, baby. Nothing too much, nothing too much. Hey, can I come back? Can I come up? Just for the weekend. I mean, the CIA, the FBI, the sheriff, and the police department's after me. Don't worry about it, baby. Come back, come quick, come now. Just get here, baby. Just get here just for the weekend. Don't worry about it. You can hide out. You can hole up. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Yeah. Remember all those fist fights we used to get into in the pool halls where those like really stupid looking suburban pervs in the business suits with the curly hair and the glasses and the ties and the briefcase you try to pimp her, you're anybody's ass off to just a little bit, just for $50, $75 just to do it. You know, the kind that used to like their balls having hot wax poured all over it while they'd be jerking off screaming out, Hail, Holy Mary, Hail, Holy Mary, Hail, 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 Hail. I even almost forgot. I mean, I forgive you, but I can't really forget about that 62-year-old black man, Willie, that we picked up while hitchhiking on the corner of Houston and 2nd Avenue, New York City, 1981, where we got in and all he wanted to do was take us to a Motel 6 and you sat smoking Marlboros and drinking Budweiser, watching cartoons, laughing while I'm humping, pumping, fucking sucking my brains off, and that man couldn't come no matter what I did. 2 hours later and we're doubling the price. Hey, the art trip just wasn't paying in those days, baby. You know what I'm saying? We had to eat. We had to pay the rent. I mean, you couldn't get a job. You busted your kneecap on the construction site. 2 tons of solid steel. I understand. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about that time you smashed my face into a fucking plate glass window Christmas morning 1981. It didn't matter. I got the scars to prove it, but they're pretty scars. They're beautiful. They're everlasting, just like our love. Yeah. Don't worry about the time you ran over those 2 14-year-old surfer girls on the Malibu freeway in your 68 fucking Ford pickup. Ended up 9 weeks in intensive care, longest victim in L.A. County. Don't worry about it. You lived to talk about it. So did I. They're dead and buried. They didn't have a chance to get fucked up or screwed over. Don't worry about it. Don't even think about it. You know, I forgot all about the black eyes, the busted lip, the broken collarbone, the misplaced hip, the busted kneecap. I forgot all about it, baby. The trips to the hospital, the morgue, that time you stuck that small pearl-handled switchblade right inside my belly trying to implicate me in any kind of involvement with any man, woman, child, animal that I wasn't paid to fuck. As long as I was getting paid and you were getting 10% of the profits, you didn't really care. You didn't really give a shit. As a matter of fact, you fucking got off on it, you stupid fuck. You loved it. Yeah. You love me, baby, and I loved you. That's right. I can forget about it. Oh, I can forgive you, baby. I can forgive you for all the hurt. Hey, I dug it too. You know, I mean, the only way you can learn is through pain, right? I mean, I forgot about it. I forgive you, baby. Forget the horror. Forget about the horror. Hey, baby, one word of wisdom. May the force be with you. Yes. May the force be with you, baby. May the force be with you. May you too one day learn. May you too one day learn that you don't always have to prove how fucking hard it is to be a man. Hey, I understand. I know how hard it is to be a man. I know that it's hard to be a man. I know that you gotta be a hard man. I know that you gotta be hard, baby. You gotta be hard. You gotta be a hard man, you know? Because men, they just get blamed for everything, you know? And that's because they fuck everything up. Every time, every last time, I forgive you, baby. I can't forget about it, but I can forgive you. And that's because now we're up to step 13. Yeah. Now we're up to step 13. Yeah. Step 13 is when you take the lust out of your head and out of your heart and put it back into your fucking crotch where it belongs. Because there's one thing, step 13, and one thing only that can put my blindfolds on, and that's lust. Yeah. Lust. Yeah. Lust alone, baby. Lust alone. Those fingers, oh, when they reach out and they dispense and caress, offering oblivion, ecstasy, numbness. When that tongue of fire, baby, worships and helps me to escape into a nocturnal caress. Explosions, baby. Expulsion.
Escape, 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 tripping off into those distant daydreams. Yeah, suffocating. Hyperventilating. Yeah. Smooth, baby, is the touch. Oh, unforgettable. The taste. Yeah. The way you make those ripples shoot through. The way you pet, pierce, penetrate. But experts only need apply. That's right. Experts only in the art of seduction. The ones that know how to stimulate those unsane endorphins, those polluted desires. Oh, I embrace it. Vessel of evil, doomed between my legs. Say it like a mantra. Rebellion from false virtue. Rebellion from false virtue. Rebellion from false virtue. But never, please, no, not nudity. Anything but nudity. Anything but nudity, because nudity is death. Nudity is death, and even the most tender kisses leave the aftertaste of the rat, trapped, standing in front of a door that leads to an unknown room. Every entrance is an exit. Oh, embrace me now. Every entrance is an exit. There's no time left for caution. Don't even think about it. There's no time left for caution. So tonight, when you're in your bed and you're thinking about me and my problems and my obsessions and my addictions, and you got your hand where it counts, and you're staring out the window at the rooftops and you see something moving in the distance, just remember, it's not always a man, you know. It's not always a man. It's not always a man, that fucking sniper on the rooftop. Bloodshot grin, frozen grin, hand, arm extended, gun cocked, ready to explode. No, baby, it's not always a man that's singing those songs of piracy and grief, that's bloodthirsty, that's lusty, that's wanny, that's needy. It's not always a man with those faint whispers crushed like distant foam on ghostly lips. But one thing I learned from men, this is the lesson: the flesh is just the fool. The flesh is just the fool, so treat it as such. The flesh is just the fool of indifferent graves. Yeah. Whoever creates, and I know I'm not alone on this one, whoever creates demands destruction. Whoever creates demands destruction, because it's not until the flesh rots, that the soul can have any time off. And that desired state of nothing can happen. Nothing can happen to a skeleton except the wind blowing through the bones on the other side of sin. Good night.